This guy said hoping for some Tupac soon. Yo, fuck Tupac. I'm just kidding. Am I? I don't know. East Coast. Hey, Mystic, thank you for the raid, by the way. Appreciate that. Welcome on in. Hope stream was good. Hope you had a good one. I just grabbed my food. Biggie for life. Hey, Biggie was great. He sucked too. They both sucked. Fuck gang shit. I hate it. Fuck that. They all fucking sucked, alright? I love their music though. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, I got a sandwich, but it's so messy. I have to eat it with a fork. Like, it's so messy. There's just... This shit is impossible. I got a fork for it. It's so... I mean, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good as hell, but it's, you know... What can you do, man, right? What can you do? I don't want to listen to the song. Anyway, welcome on in. Why is this playlist, like, not doing the things I need it to do? Hold on, I'm gonna fix this playlist. I'm gonna add it here. Okay, and then we press this button. And now it'll be fixed. Okay. We just gotta make the algo understand. Alright. Anyway, yeah, so I have my big fucking sandwich. I'm ready to start the day. I am uncaffeinated. And that's okay. I've been kind of like avoiding caffeine for a hot minute, and then now I'm allowing myself to have it again. You know? You had the fattest meatball sub the other day. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it. I don't know how long we'll chat today because I have some friends we're gonna play games with today, and they're all slightly, well, those that stream are slightly earlier streamers right now. It's gonna be fun as fuck. We got schedule 1, which I haven't streamed yet. Actually, I've played a bit, but I haven't streamed it. We're gonna play it. Actually, no, sorry. I did solo stream. I haven't streamed like any of my games with friends. Yeah, we're gonna be making drugs. And since we're making drugs, I thought it only appropriate. We have Mason, Nova, and Dan who plays Teddy. So it's gonna be... Maybe we'll just keep calling him Teddy. I don't know what he wants me to call him. We got Mason, Nova, and Teddy. You just know it's gonna be good. You know that shit's gonna be tight. So, yeah, we're gonna do that. I don't know if you guys are like, how much of that game you've seen, but I feel like everyone's been streaming it. And I feel like it's gonna become another Raft, where we all play the first couple of days worth of the game, and then we just fuck off and never play it ever again. So I'm gonna play this, and then if they don't specifically want to continue that save, I'm gonna take that save and then continue it solo, dude. That way, when I'm playing myself, I don't have to make my own save and do all the early shit again. I know I have my own solo save that we played on a little bit, but if this one gets farther, I'm taking that one. I'm taking that one. And now I know the early stuff well enough, we can speed run that shit so well. And with 4 people, I don't know. I've never played it with more than 2. I played it solo, and I played it with Barky, and that was it. So, I don't know. That in Repo? Yeah. Monthly friend swap. That's what it is. And like, everyone loves... You know, it's not a bad thing. Everyone loves monthly friend swap. I think the only thing that makes me not like a game is when people just, like, overdo it. As long as I can keep myself from that, I'm usually okay. Like, I still love Repo. I'm still having fun with it, so I've been, you know, playing it. There's some games where I get tired of them real quick, you know. Or sometimes you get tired of the game, but if you switch up the people, it's not so bad. But, you know, just doing my best out here. But as long as there's, like, good new friend swap every month, I'm happy. Nova's gonna be giggling the whole time. This dude giggles so much. And you only realize it when you're like not on push to talk. Stream's gonna be huge for my fantasy friendship league. Guys, okay, no hard feelings. I'm not gonna tell any of them what you said. Who's your favorite of my friends? Go. If you could make a dream team of like me and 3 other people playing a game, who are your favorites? All right. I won't tell them. If it's negative, I won't tell them. I'll only tell positives, maybe. My goats are GEEGA, 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 and GEEGA. Dread Mike Eric. That's a tough one. It is because I grabbed from like all places. Henny Mouse Michi. Joel. Garrick, Nags, Joel, Michi, Joel. Harka, Zen, Henya. Henya, Garrick, and Psych could go hard. That's a demonic collab. I hate that. Joel, Garrick, Mike, Dread, Henya, Zitark, Joel. Zen, May, Harka. Okay. Dread, Garrick, Harka, Nova. Wait, that would actually be a banger collab. Oh, God. Oh, God. Grape and limes. Good choice. Okay. Now, if I were making a streamer house, okay? I was buying a big mansion. It could be me and 5 other people. And we're going to make content together all the time because we're in a streamer house. Who do you pick? Like, if you could pick anyone for me. Oh, God. May, Dread, Octopip, Joel, Garrick. That's the worst streamer house I've ever heard. And the thing is, you know it would go crazy. That would go actually crazy. What I'm gonna do is the funniest one. I'm just gonna make a group chat of that. And I'm gonna tell them why. Garrick, you can help him. There's no helping him. What'd you say? Arca, Ariel, Joel, Zen, Froggy, huh? Brother, this dude came in with a paragraph, restricted suspicious user. I don't know if you could even read it, chat. I think you couldn't because he's restricted. Dude came in with a paragraph claiming I'm the only thing keeping this dude on a balcony. Brother, shut up. First of all, the chance that that's true is so low. When people type shit like that in Twitch chats, such a low chance that that's even true. Second, your burdens are your own. So even if it is true, your burdens are your own. Don't put it on a bunch of random fucking chatters. You know what I mean? But the chance it's true is, again, like 1% maximum. Usually when people type shit like that in chats, it's just not real. That happened kind of moment, right? That happened. How does one even become a suspicious user? Dude, it's one of 2 things. Either someone that you're friends with and you've shared your ban list with has been banned in their chat. Then when they come in, they'll be restricted in your chat. It'll flag them. They won't always be restricted, but it'll say like suspicious user. And then it'll say reason banned in this other chat. So it doesn't auto ban, but like it gives you the chance to see that they were banned in your friend's chat. So you're like, oh, okay. But then if it's like a full restricted user, usually it means that they've been banned in a lot of chats and reported a bunch for other shit. So you can almost always guess that if they come in with a first message that's a little crazy and they're already restricted, they're probably just like posting that, like copy pasting it into 1,000 chats. So that's why you can like almost always look at that and be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, or they're ban evading, right? Like new account that they made just for that kind of shit. Exactly. You wonder how Twitch tells if a user is ban evading? It's just IP usually. Typically. Blacklist sharing is such a good idea. I'm really glad they added that, honestly, because there are a lot of users that like, okay, straight up, they act normal in my chat. And there's something a little off, like a little off, but I can't put my finger on it. It's not enough for me to be like timing this person out or banning them. It's just something about their vibe is a little off. We notice it, but we don't do anything. There are a lot of situations where that person is banned in a friend's chat because they thought they could get away with some shit in that chat and tried it. They know they can't get away with it here, so they don't try it, but they try it in smaller chats. So whenever I see that, I'm like, you know, and I'd rather just ban them here, especially if it's like, I want my friends to be able to come to my chat and feel comfortable. And if I have a bunch of users that are banned in their chats, not banned here, especially like the ones that have done like bad shit over there, they're not going to feel comfortable like typing here, you know what I mean? I care about them more than like a random new chatter that I don't even know yet, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. They know you're a closet furry now. They know the truth, man. They know the truth. So you're a freak everywhere. It's crazy how people code switch, but I don't mind people code switching between chats. It's more like if you like harassed my friend and then you come here try to act normal, I'll like, of course I'm gonna ban you, you know? I've done that with a lot of you know, Nina. She's had some real fucking real pieces of work, okay, in her chat. If I see someone that, and she's pretty like light on the bans, so if I see someone come in here and say something and they're banned in her chat, the chance I'm gonna ban them too is pretty damn high. Pretty damn high. I've seen some shit that's awful. One sec. There we go. Oh yeah, no, just people being weird as fuck. Just had quite a few people be weird as fuck, and you know, like I said, if you're banned over there, you probably did some really stupid shit. It's like, it's a little hard to get banned in your chat, you know. So, I have quite a few friends like that though. So, you know, we all share ban lists, and if I see people banned in certain chats, especially like much smaller streamer friends, where like when someone's typing, you can see everything they say, you know? I'm just like, if they sniped you, I'ma snipe you too, most likely. Most likely. Yeah, JC, no, you do a good fucking job, man. You do. You really do. Ah! Mm. Yeah, if they're bad in one chat, they'll likely be bad in another. Yes or no? I mean, we don't auto-ban people. We just watch. That's all. We just watch, you know? And if they make the same mistake again, instead of us doing like a 3 strikes you're out moment, like we would usually kind of do in this chat, instead we just quick ban, because we're like, you already fucked up in that other place. We don't need, like, you know, evidence that you messed up in this chat specifically or anything like that. Like, that's, you're getting into like the rules lawyer zone where you don't need to do that. Yeah. Yeah, you had to do 3 strikes somewhere else. Exactly, exactly. I'm just glad. I think I think they should do more with like overall moderation on the platform. They leave all moderation to be very chat specific. So anything that happens to you in one chat is enclosed. So you could go to someone's chat and be the worst person ever, get a few day ban, you know, do all this crazy shit, and no one in any other chats would know. That's it. So I kind of wish like you had a rap sheet in a way. Like how many chats are you banned in? For that to just be like known to moderators only, you know. And of those chats that you're banned in, how many are ones that like, let's say it's the one that I follow, because anyone could ban someone in a tiny chat. So maybe you could count it just by affiliate channels or partnered channels even, you know. That way you can sort of not let people abuse that system. But if they are banned in a lot of chats, I think it would be good for that to just be like on their record straight up, because it would save people time. People give them chances, and their communities kind of get shit up a little for a while when they could just like see that that person's banned in like 50 partnered streams and be like, okay, it's time to get them out of here. You know, I think it'd be nice. Enforcing globally could be tricky. Yeah. I'm not saying like the communities are involved in any of it. I'm saying like if the people are banned in verified larger streams, just get a counter, just a number. How many of them are you banned in? You know. And maybe it could be bans in the last X amount of time within the last year, right? That way, if someone was really bad and they've totally changed, it just drops off their record. You know what I mean? Just by time. Because some people are just young and they make stupid mistakes, and that's okay. But yeah, I would like something like that. I agree, JC. Yeah. Have an option to let the other channel see their last 5 messages. I would love that. Like that's what I mean by like a little rap sheet. Maybe something where because they have been trying to enhance moderation tools, and I think this is the best one. Is if someone does get banned in a chat, you flag that as a moment. You grab that person's last 5, like you said, 5 messages from that stream they just got banned in, and you make a little report. Boom. And it's just a little line item that it goes on the rap sheet. So when a moderator clicks on someone's viewer card and they open that person, maybe there could be a little button like view this person's record. And when you do that, then it brings up like these little incidents. So if they were banned, it'd be like, here, they're banned in this channel on this date, and here's their last couple of messages, and a reason why if the mods of that channel added that, right? I think something like that would be so useful, because then you could pick out like really weird behaviors that you don't know how to explain instantly. Holy shit, yeah, Oshi. Tier 3 for 50 months, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my god. 50 months. I've been streaming for 50 months is what that means. Longer than that, but you know, 51 months, maybe. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts, dude. Makes me feel so old, like streamer old. And I don't feel like I'm like an old guard streamer or anything, but then when I look at what year it is, I'm like, wait a minute. I've been doing this for years, dude. That's crazy. That's nuts. Yeah, I agree, JC. I do the same thing, like, whenever we have to do shit like that here. I don't know. One day. God, 50 months is insane. Absolutely insane. Also, I have, I can't tell you yet. But I have, tomorrow, we're announcing something fun. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. You're old, GEEGA? I didn't fucking ask. I was talking about my streamer career. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Hey, thanks for the 47 months, by the way. Person who's also been here just as long. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's one of the few people who's actually been here that long. He's Jetpack. Max. One of my like first chatters. So do you see the 3-digit month subs and sub chat and you're super nuked by comparison? Yeah, maybe I'm just used to watching people who've been at this for that long. Maybe that's it, right? So my perspective of it is a little skewed or something. I don't know, man. I'm feeling old though. You know what I was watching before this? I was I was ordering my food, getting my shit ready for stream. And I was in Peppo's chat. And dude just keeps he's doing it like every day on stream. He opens up Zillow or something similar and he goes apartment hunting because he really wants to move. He's in California and he just hates it. And he's just streaming, so he doesn't need to live in an expensive spot. Yeah, he's having a real midlife crisis. He's on stream going, brother, I'm 36 and I gotta get out of here. And he's like, and he's every day for like weeks. He's like, I want to move to Italy, man. I want to move to Sicily. And he's like looking at beachside houses. He's trying to find something cheap to rent. He just needs internet. So he's looking like internationally and he can't find shit in Italy. So now he's like, fuck, where in the US can I go, man? And he's like, he's talking about his life. His life is so weird. Yeah, I gotta do it while I still can. That's the shit he's saying. He's like picking up pictures of cottages and he's like, I always dreamed of looking at this shit. And oh my God. He's asking his own chat to find stuff for him. He's just looking at pictures and going, where do I find this? I need this. He's going through it, man. He's going through it. I think he needs to go to the beach in North Carolina. That's what I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like a millennial despair stream, which I've realized is my favorite thing. We're watching him go through like his midlife crisis. Every time I tune into Peter's streams, Peter's like having a breakdown. And I'm like, I think my favorite content is just going to streams of someone in their 30s and they're like panicking. And they're like, oh, well, I don't even know what to do anymore, man. It's my favorite content. It's my favorite content, dude. I think we need to like just grab some of them and just talk about their lives. Like a little crisis podcast or something. I want to do that. We talk about where we're at in our lives and then we like complain about it. I think that'd be great. North Carolina's really nice beaches. It does, but like compared to some other areas north of Virginia or farther south in like Florida, it's way cheaper. So just saying. A little drama never hurt. Never did. You want Peppo for Giga Chat? He would be such a weird one. You know what his life is? Here's what I know about his life. Okay, this is a dude who streams GTA RP. He is an artist. Okay, he was going to college. He said for philosophy and history. Okay, which already that's cooked. That's cooked. There's some people where they're just too interested. They want to study. They want to learn, and that's great. But like getting a job in that is so fucking difficult. Now, if anyone could do it, it's him. I'm gonna be honest. If anyone could have done it, it's him. But he was going to community college for that and then decided to be an artist. He wanted to be a painter. He's always been good at art. So he starts going to art school in Laguna Beach and realizes that like that's the way, like the beach is beautiful, okay? Becomes an excellent artist. I don't know what happens between there. Skip ahead to now. His art is really cool. He's a really good artist. Don't get me wrong. Like, yes. Skip ahead to now. He's like also doing RP streams.
Dino dance, bang boo bounce, Dino dance.
Thank you for the bits. But he was doing art streams before that, you know. So he's streaming his art, streaming his painting, and then now in RP. And then now he's 36 and he's having a crisis. Still a streamer, and he's like looking for places where he can become a recluse. So I'm like, and then on top of this, while he's talking about his life story, in the middle of it, he says that the reason why his accent is so weird is because he developed it because he didn't talk for 6 months. He had a period of time where he was just locked up doing nothing but painting for 6 months and didn't speak a word to anyone. He said when he started talking again, he had this weird ass accent. And I'm like, what is with this guy? You know? And the thing is, I know another person who's done that. So this is very viable in my mind. If that was the first time I've ever heard that, I would be like, I don't know about that. But I have another friend, okay? Family friend, he's a bit older, whatever. He, in like his late 20s, early 30s, was trying to escape something, what is what we'll say. He went out to the desert in Israel and he was living with Bedouin people to not be found. And he just spent years out there. And there were times where he didn't talk. There were times where he lived in like his own hut solo and he didn't talk. And then he came back. He was waiting something out. I don't know if it was like fraud charges or whatever the fuck. He's a really nice guy. He doesn't strike me as the kind, but he had something that was going on that he was waiting out. And he comes back and his accent was weird as hell. And he's never really quite shaken it. So now I know two people. I know two people that have done like a vow of silence kind of moment, whether it's a vow or it just happened that way. And both have now developed like weird accents. So you know, 2 for 2. It's interesting. 2 for 2. I don't know. It's weird, man. Pep on your book page tearing friend also have the same vibe. I know. I keep collecting these people. I don't know how this happens, man. Book page tearing friend. Yeah, he that's my friend in his 60s and used to be a bike messenger. Went out and didn't want to be drafted for Vietnam. He didn't want to be drafted for the war. So what he did instead, he was trying to find like a legitimate way to not go to Vietnam for the war, and he joined the Peace Corps. So he got shipped out to the Punjabi region of India and spent time there, and then came back and was a bike messenger again. And he's a real fucking weirdo, but you know, he's a great friend and I like him and I like his stories, so I don't care. Love him, love him. And sometimes we would go to the gay beaches in Provincetown over the summer occasionally. Hang out. He and another friend who's like an old woman who's a self-proclaimed shrink. She works in psychology in the city, but she's not licensed, as many older people aren't. They're just grandfathered in because they didn't do licensing back then. She has like some bungalow up there, and us three would go out. Guys, I encourage you, when you meet weird people, you should befriend them. And I don't mean weird like weird vibes, weird energy freaks you out. I mean like if they just like if they're just intriguing even a little bit, you should be friends with them instantly. Do what you can, you know. You'll absorb that energy by default. What if that guy's Peppo from the future? They're very different people. P-Town's so fun though. I know. It's so nice up there. Going up to the Cape. Oh, I haven't been in a long time. I haven't been in a while. Well, I went briefly, but I haven't been on like a full like week or 2 long thing, you know? I haven't done that in a bit. Oddball energy. Yeah. You're the weird friend. Yeah. I feel like when I make friends with people, I do kind of become that friend a little bit, but that's only if they ask me questions. I don't just like offer up these stories to everyone. I pretty much keep to myself. But then if they ask a lot, sometimes they're like, "Hey, you know, you do some weird shit." Like, yeah, I know. And it gets even weirder now. I have to be all cryptic about what I do. You know? I'm not working in like normal corpa tech anymore. Now I'm a VTuber, which is like that's got to be one of the weirdest jobs in existence, right? It's not even just a job, it's a whole existence. So, I don't even know. Weird shit just gets weirder. And I have a feeling my life is going to just continue to be weird forever. Forever and ever, man. Hobby shop guys are entertaining. Yeah, well, depends on which one you talk to, but a lot of the time, yeah, for sure. Difficult to explain to V2 to those who all don't already know. It's yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't even want to explain to people. Number one, I don't want to tell people. It's just one of those things that it's not smart to go around telling, so I don't. But number two, if I did, even if I wanted to, or I have a friend where I'm like, yeah, I could tell them, they're fine or whatever, it's still really hard to explain if they don't know what it is. Because I feel like you can't explain this job well without giving someone a full picture of it. And that takes a long time to explain, right? So, some people don't even know what like a streamer is. You could say content creator. You could say content creator. Yeah, I make like YouTube videos and I live stream. And they're like, okay, like they can get that much. But then if you try to explain, like, they're like, okay, let me see your channel. If you show them and they see this, they're always like, pause, back up. How does that even work, right? Like, it's the tech baffles people still. They just don't know how this exists. So it's kind of, and then they're like, people watch that like live. And then they're like, oh, so you have a show? They think it's scripted. And then you go, no, I'm just talking and, providing live content where we're gaming or we're chatting. And then they're like, what people watch that? It's one of those things. There's so many layers. It's just so hard to explain. I don't know. You've always wondered how this sort of business is registered on official forms like taxes or insurance. It's usually just entertainment. There are some forms that don't really have a good category for it. Pretty much all content creators struggle with that. Some people just put like marketing. That's what some people do. They say it's just like entertainment and marketing, and that's it. Because that does explain how to categorize a lot of the expenses, at least. But I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, brand deals, exactly. So if a lot of your money is made through sponsorships and stuff, you can kind of just say it's marketing, and that works. But
do
you
your
gotta be careful
just
with
say
it.
you're a babysitter faction redeems chat?
I just tell people I'm still in the work I used to be in. I just don't change my story. Because, like, my knowledge base of that stuff is still there. Obviously not as refreshed on some shit, because I'm not actively doing it, but you know what I mean. I just use that. No, I mean, self-employed artist. You could call it art, right? One could call this art. Creating any sort of content, you could call that art. It's not traditional art, but I mean, not in a pretentious way, just to like categorize, like in a semantics kind of way, right? Then they want to see it has to sound excessively boring. Yeah, that's kind of why I stick to like telling people I do what I used to do. Because I'd be like, tech stuff, computer stuff. Or easiest thing, just say you're a project manager. Yeah, I'm a project manager for like a small company. You just say that, they'll never question, never. That's the easiest cop out if you don't want to tell someone what your job is. That's it. Whenever you talk to people about rigging and modeling, you just call it animation. Yeah. I use the word animation as well. Yeah. It's the right way, honestly. It's hard to explain to them how a rig for a live movement is different than something that has been like manually animated, but you don't need to explain that. You just say it's a type of animation, and it kind of falls under the umbrella, so it's whatever. You tell people you do audiobooks, they hear your voice and be like, yeah, that tracks. You do sound like you could do audiobooks. I always wanted to do one, but I think I don't think I'm right for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like crazy, but I feel like I'm not right for it. No one has ever known what a PM is, and no one ever asks follow-up. I think people who work in corporate environments know exactly what they are and don't need to ask. And the people who haven't have no clue what they are and why they're important. and they're not gonna ask, right? It just works on both sides. So saying you're a PM is the easiest. You thought saying I have an NDA was the easiest cop out? Well, that's for when they ask for specifics. What do you do? Oh, I'm a PM. Oh, for who? I have an NDA, can't say. There you go, right? That's like the follow-up usually. That's honestly super easy. But if they're like, what do you do? And you can't even tell them what you do, and you're like, oh, NDA, that's like a little spooky. You know, it makes them more curious. Telling people you're a voice actor, they say, yeah, you look like it. That's fucked. That's fucked, man. Glorpus, thank you for the tier 3 for 27 months. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. If I could read an audiobook, which book would you choose, guys? If I were narrating an audiobook, what would be the one? What would be right? What do you feel? Count of Monte Cristo. Oh, it's so good. Go the fuck to sleep. Catcher in the Rye? I'd rather cut my own foot off. I hate that fucking book. Hate that book, hate that character, hate everything about it. Learned nothing from that book. Book sucked. Sorry, don't like it. Moby Dick. That's a good one. Dune. Love Dune. Everybody poops. Green eggs and ham. Lord of the Rings. I would. Lord of the Flies. Oh my god. You know? Yeah. Hitchhiker's Guide. The Raven. Okay. I do like that one. It's a classic. It's a classic. Roadside Picnic. Great Gatsby. I didn't like Gatsby either. It was another one that it didn't do it for me. Captain Underpants. Okay. I like it. Midsummer Night's Dream, and you play all the characters. Yeah. The Weird Sisters. It's spelled with a Y, actually, by Terry Pratchett. Yeah, I would do any Pratchett novel. The problem is I'm not British. So I'd be like, oh, it's time to read a British character's dialogue. And I would have to resist because I should, okay, if I'm doing an audiobook and there's a British character, I should just do a normal British accent. But you know, I'd open the book and I'd be like, yeah, this is my bush call. You can't take my bush call. And it would take, I would have to resist doing that. And you know, I'd crack that book open. Oh, put in your potion. Put the ingredients in. It would never work. I would never be able to do it. Thank you for telling me I'm insanely valid. Thank you. It's just you have to resist, and I'm not strong enough. I would I would read the whole audiobook like that. I would. Weird distortion in your mic. Is it still doing that? I even unplugged everything, wiped everything down, plugged it back in. Okay. Just a little when you're loud? Yeah, sounds about right. Yep. I'd love to hear how you would voice Vimes. Vimes? Of all characters, Vimes? I love Vimes, but... You want to hear me voice him? I'm not even the right person. I'd make him sound crazy. In your mind, Eric Idle narrates Discworld books. I always wanted Matthew Berry to narrate a Discworld novel. Or just to, like, be in media related to them, but I'm not a fan of when they make shows and movies out of Discworld-related stuff. Usually it just doesn't come out right. It needs to be super high budget to be right, in my opinion, and it just doesn't get that kind of budget. But I think Matthew Berry would be perfect. Father! Here. Hold on. Here, let's listen to him read something. Ready? Matt Berry reads a husband's plea to his wife about their intimate relations. Okay, okay. This is the person I want to read a Discworld novel, okay? Sorry, VOD watchers, you won't hear it. Oh. Oh, it's all valid. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh. I love it. I love it. He just has the right voice, man. He has the right voice. I want to hear him do audiobooks. I want to hear him specifically do Discworld novels. 83 times. He said, I hate my wife. Oh my god. She's valid. She is. Is the IT crowd guy? Yes. He's done a lot more than that, but yes. He played the son. The guy that yells father. Jealous cat. Hey, I get it. I get it. Discworld audiobooks are pretty nice. Who does read them actually? Is it like an audiobook person or a standard actor? Let me see. Sometimes there are like a lot of oh, Tony Robinson. Okay. Oh yeah. Look at that. Okay, okay. A lot of these audiobooks seem to not even be that long for a lot of Discworld novels. They're really not long books, are they? They're really not. Really not. Mm. Yeah, Tony Robbins is good. I can't read, so I didn't see. Get to reading. Get to reading. I love reading. I'm rereading some older stuff that I wanted to reread. That I just kind of, enough time had passed and I hadn't really remembered a lot of things. But I've been spending a lot of time reading articles, educational stuff the past few years rather than novels. So I'm just trying to get back into reading straight up fiction, you know? Do you read? Yes. Yeah, a lot. The past long while, I still read novels, but instead of reading like a novel a week kind of thing, instead it's more like I read anything I could pick up that's educational, really. I'll history, art, some sort of topic that I'm interested in. I'll read something about the topic rather than reading a book necessarily. I haven't really picked up many books on those things. Instead, I've read like people's papers and essays on them and that kind of stuff. And I've just found that very interesting. But I do want to just go back to my fiction hole, and just Just read fiction novels. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You like reading a lot of nonfiction? Yeah, I never really do it in book form though. So I'm trying to see if I can get into it. I've always kind of hated reading like straight up nonfiction novels. I don't know. They were never really my thing, but I think it's because I was presented with a lot of bad ones. You've been reading The Count of Monte Cristo and the drama is juicy. Have you ever seen, oh man, the relationship chart for that book? Count of Monte Cristo. The book is great. Okay, when it comes to classic books, it's one of my favorites. It has this really dynamic set of characters with all their different relationships to each other. And if you put it into here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Look at this relationship chart, dude. I don't even need to zoom, all right? I can just go here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. It's just like all of these, you know what? You know what? I do want to find a clear one. It's each circle is a character. And it shows like what happens between them. I can't even show the whole thing. Hold on. Save image. We're gonna save this. We're gonna have the Count of Monte Cristo's relationship chart saved on our computer. Look. Look. We got Edmund in the middle here. Okay, he goes by a lot of different names because he kind of reappears in the world as the Count of Monte Cristo, but realistically he was a guy that was thrown and locked up, thrown away for a long while, and it's one of the greatest revenge stories ever. But they show like what's going on with all these characters and what they have in relation to each other. And look, there's just so many intertwined people. So many of them. They're all properly intertwined too. Like you have this kind of group of people on the right that don't have too much to do with the people on the other side. You get this whole group of people here, and some of them are, you know, related to other folks. It's just yeah, way too dank. It's really great though because the story introduces them all at a good pace. You don't feel overwhelmed. It isn't until you finish the book and you look back at that and you're like, wow, I really understood all of this. I really went through all of that, huh? Louise needs to lay off the poison. Yeah, poisons a bunch of people. Hey, it's a whole thing. You should read it. It's public domain. You can just go find old versions that you can read for free easily. So good. So good. A friend, a financial partner. That was more common back then, I would say. Well, that's still common nowadays. But, God, I love that book.
Cheer 100. Have you seen Gankatsu, the Count of Monte Cristo anime?
No.
It's great and the textures look like they're from the Chowder cartoon.
An anime. Oh my god, it's real. Oh, it's from 04. It's produced by Gonzo. Gonzo produced one of my favorite weird old animes. I really liked Last Exile. It's a weird fucking show. Looking back, it's not that good. But I just loved the way the studio animated some stuff. So I think I just loved looking at it, you know? The Count of Monte Cristo. Wait, maybe... Wait a minute. They made the Count... They made him look like a vampire. He looks like Dracula. Oh my god. Yeah, I've never seen this one. Hold on, look. So the character in the book is just a normal guy, but look. That's him up top. He looks like Dracula. He looks like he's from Castlevania. No way. No way. Yeah, they made him Dracula straight up. I never knew they did an anime. Oh. Oh, that's so good. Maybe I'll watch it, man. Maybe I'll watch it. I love the Count of Monte Cristo. Last Exile is kind of mid, but the vibes are immaculate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I just like the aesthetics, the some of the soundtrack, the overall feeling of each scene was really good. The story just fell so flat. Like, the story just kind of wasn't good, but everything else about it was really good, and it just felt like such a disappointment because they got all of the art direction and animation and everything. They got all of that completely right, and then they just fucked up with having like a bad script, you know? I think that's why I like that anime so much, because for me it was just about the vibes, man. I didn't care about what was going on, and I was like, yo, I love these airships. I don't know. What a mid anime. They see the word count and just autofills to vampires. Well, I mean, it's about like French society, so it makes sense to do a vampire setting because I find that that's something that Japan seems to always, which I don't know why it's always France, but do you notice that Japan seems to always create stories around vampires, and they're always part of French or Parisian society, high society, every time, right? Like they're always nobles in France. You even see it in Castlevania. So I don't know why it's always France, because shouldn't it be like Transylvanian? But okay, it's fine. It's fine. I think Last Exile got a second season. Yeah, it was not. It was so different. It was so weird. It was so weird. Like Murata's art, but never saw Last Exile. I love Murata's art. That's why I first watched that show at all, because I loved. I remember I saw the concept art for the show, and I was like, I love this guy's art. I will watch this show. And that's what I did. I think I follow him on Twitter. Occasionally I still see his stuff. Let me find him. Let me find him. I don't know what his thing is, but I know I follow him. What's his username on there? Oh, it's just it's just his name. It had an underscore, so I couldn't find him. There he is. I always loved his art so much, man. I always loved his style. And he'd always do a lot of stuff in like very traditional art. You know, he does a lot of color pencil drawings and stuff. So yeah, I remember seeing something that he drew a long time ago, and then found out he was going to be the main like artist, you know, for some anime. And I was like, all right, I'll watch it. And that was the only reason I watched that show. And to this day, I really only liked the aesthetics of it. I was just there for like the world building, you know. Yeah, he's been around for a long time though. I always liked his work, man. He used to stream drawing One Punch Man, fun ideas. Yeah. He's still really active. Really active. I think I don't always love certain things about the way he draws characters. Like I don't love that he always does like very like round, you know, circular like eyes, and everyone looks like a baby and shit, you know. But I do love the way he draws fabrics and things, like the way he draws textures. I'm gonna take a screenshot of an art piece of his, and I'm gonna take like the anime style head and not show it. I'm just gonna show the fabric that he drew. Look at this. Now, obviously, when you look at certain parts of this, you can tell it's a drawing, but for the most part, when you just look at that fabric, that looks so fucking real, right? That looks so real, okay? And that's, I always love this dude's art, because he just, I don't know. Yeah, it's a drawing. It's a drawing. Okay, now I'll show you the whole thing. Doesn't it look like a photo? That's why I loved his art, because his realism that he kind of threw into like a style where he's just drawing like anime characters is crazy. Here, that's the whole drawing. Look at that. It's just it's he does like manga and everything. So like when you look at this, you're like, oh my god, anime. But then when you if you just cut that out, you're like, holy shit, is that a picture? You know? You know what I mean? His art's so good. Anyway, that's why I always like this artist, because I find that a lot of artists in that field, they leave out like all realism, but when he did other stuff, like concept art and everything, like he left the realism in there. I don't know. I don't know. His yeah, the way he draws fabrics and stuff is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I like his work. I like his work. Almost like those AI anime filters. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like when I look at that kind of stuff, I'm like, there are people that can just draw like this. They exist, and here's one who's been around for forever doing that. So, I don't know. I don't know. They've been out here for a while. But isn't his art so cool, man? So cool. Let me find the concept art for the anime I was talking about before that he did. Oh, that's all the sketches. Here, he did like all these really good like colored pencil drawings of the characters in the show. So this was an anime, but seeing him do like these full illustrations and then turn that into like the box art for the DVD sets, things like that was cool. There's like this. The anime didn't look exactly like this. It was very much like a normal style for the sake of animation. But all the art he drew for this show was just so fucking cool. I don't know, it gave such a weird, like, surreal vibe. Everything that he draws also, I feel like everything he draws feels incredibly nostalgic. And it's something about the color balancing and the softness of it. Everything feels like a photo. So I always liked, like, it makes me so nostalgic for the show, and I didn't even like the show that much. Look at this. Like, you see the main characters all like together, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, right? Like the nostalgic feeling with all of these is crazy. And it's just his illustrations. Like, the anime doesn't even look exactly like that. They still put them in like a standard flat color style so that they could even animate it, right? But yeah, I always loved his art. I always loved like the way he drew all the illustrations around a lot of his projects. So cool, man. So cool. I'm looking for. Oh yeah, there was like. Hold on, let's exile illustrations. I'm gonna find one that he drew for the sequel. I did not like the sequel. The second season was weird and not it. But he so the show was about like people on airships and shit. Look at that. Look at that, dude. I just see this and I'm like, man, that show was great. It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. It was not that good. But again, it has like this like ultra nostalgic feeling, right? Like you could have like never watched this show and you look at this and you're like, I remember the good days. I don't know, some artists just give you like a feeling when you look at their shit. I don't know. I don't know. This artist is one of the best. He's one of the best. He's insane. He's insane. Have you ever seen Code Geass? Always thought that the plot, specifically as it relates to Lelouch's shades of Count of Monte Cristo. I tried watching bits of it way back in the day, and I hated it. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. There were certain. Okay, I loved Naruto. Naruto, incredible. Code Geass, hated it. Bleach, hated it. Dragon Ball, all right. Okay, in the middle. JoJo, loved it. I don't know. There's like a lot of older stuff that it was very hit or miss for me. Very hit or miss. You can transport yourself to a very specific era looking at that art. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It just takes you somewhere, you know what I mean? It's too melodramatic and edgy, but as far as anime goes, it's near peak. I liked like a lot of the individual scenes in it. I just didn't care to watch through it. I just didn't. I don't know. I would sit there and watch it and be like, yeah, I just don't like this, and I changed the channel. That was it. You know. I just didn't. I don't know. It didn't hit for me. It didn't hit for me. But again, like certain scenes I thought were really cool. I liked the animation itself in it, like watching certain bits, but just for individual scenes, for sure. Fond memories of Dragon Ball until I rewatched and there's 37 episodes of talking. Yeah, Dragon Ball, that's the thing I didn't like about it was such a drag. And I was there for the fight scenes. Um it was just it was too much for me, but I still liked it overall. It makes me not want to rewatch it or anything, you know. Popular anime of the era definitely established their respective genres or themes, though, so I guess it makes sense that people really zeroed in on a particular show of the day. I just I just didn't think it was that good. I thought that was like not bad, but it didn't grip me, you know? You liked the melodrama? I think it was, how do I say it? I think the show was good. I just didn't like it. Does that make sense? Like everything, if you asked me, okay, if you sat me down, made me watch some episodes of it and said, "Is this a good anime or not?" I would say yes. I just didn't want to watch it. Right? It just wasn't for me. You want a bit of comedic element? No, I love angst and drama and all that. I don't need comedy to be in a thing. Most of what I like to watch is comedy, but a lot of things that I've watched and liked have had no comedy to them. So it's not that. It's just I just didn't like it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it, but nothing it was doing was interesting me enough for me to like keep watching a lot. You know what I mean? How about Ruby? I never watched Ruby. And honestly, I was resistant because there were people around me that were watching it and they were so obsessed with it and they were really annoying about it and it made me just not even want to try it. And I did later watch some bits of it and I didn't like it that much. I didn't think it was shit though. It wasn't shit. I just I just was like, "Eh, it's not for me." But the way people spoke about it, it was kind of like the way Undertale is where people talk about it like it's the next coming of Christ, you know? And like and there was nothing wrong with liking something, but they would describe it like it was like ambrosia, you know? And I was like, I don't, it's it's not that good. It's not that good, you know? And that freaks me out a little. Freaks me out a little, you know? Yeah, the greatest of mankind. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's too much. It's too much. Undertale mention. I didn't like Undertale. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. I liked a couple of aspects of it, but overall I didn't. That's you with solo leveling. Yeah. Yeah, I like some bits of it, but not all of it. Like Eric was so melodramatic, Lelouch was super unlikable for you. Yeah, I think I get pushed away by certain characters making like these bad decisions over and over and not learning, or like they have a personality trait that is I freak out over everything. That just makes me like I can't do it. You know? I can't do it. So I kind of backed away. I backed away. Yeah, sucks when fans overhype a decent show and give unrealistic expectations. Yeah, even a lot of my things that were like my favorite games, my favorite shows, whatever. I'll sit here on stream and say, I love this. I don't think this thing is good, but I loved it, right? Like I say that type of sentence a lot to make sure that your expectation is not that I'm telling you that this is the greatest show ever or that I'm telling you this is the greatest game ever. I'm just saying I loved it, you know? And maybe you will, maybe you won't. It's a taste thing. I always try to word it that way because, you know, I don't want to disappoint people, man. I don't want to disappoint people. A character suddenly being incompetent just to move the plot forward is one of the most frustrating things for you. Yeah, kind of. Me too. Me too. Love FF8, but it's for sure not great. Just can't be anime with super dumb scenarios. I agree. I agree. I loved 8, but yeah, it was like so many things the character that did that just made no sense to me. I just didn't get it. But they were doing it to be quirky, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. And that's how I feel about Last Exile, you know? Hey, love the art, love the vibes, the OST was good. Love so much about it. It was a mid show though. Like the story just kind of sucked. There was nothing really good there. It was the designs and the vibes and the world building that were good. So, you know, I liked it, but I'm not even going to tell you to watch the anime. Go watch some AMV someone made 10 years ago and absorb the vibes or some shit. I don't know. I don't know, man. You've been watching Cromartie? Okay, that's one that is just all around really good. Cromartie High School is just so fucking funny. So fucking funny. I loved it. You think Last Exile is more enjoyable if you approach it more like a slice of life rather than a journey? Kinda, yeah, because it felt like they were just showing you scenes of what was going on with these people, and there were a couple major plot lines, but overall it was a lot of just day-to-day shit that you were watching them do. I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. Except free run my goat. Yeah, I started watching and I haven't watched like a proper anime in forever. And I read the manga, so I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I've been watching it, and it just feels so. I mean, it's just a slice of life, right? I like it. I like reading the manga more than watching the anime personally. I don't know. I don't know. You have a hard time with AMVs. Your mind thinks the music is wrong. Me too. I never liked them, but I liked rewatching scenes. So if the only way to rewatch a scene of something was to like see it on YouTube through an AMV, I'd load it up and I'd just mute it. And I'd just let the visuals play and I'd be like, yeah, that was a cool scene. I don't know. I remember there was a time period where people would just show each other AMVs. Like, yo, this AMV goes so fucking hard, and it would be like a Linkin Park song, and like characters fighting and crying each other, being all angsty and shit. And I never liked that, dude. I would always be like, hey man, this, I'm not gonna watch this, you know. But I would have friends be like, no, this AMV goes crazy, and they like send a link, and I'm like, man, okay. Yeah, Vegeta. Vegeta sitting there screaming. And then there's just some like metal song in the background, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to get out of this? I just never understood it, but at some point, well, I kind of did. I was like, okay, it's supposed to make you feel cool. You're supposed to look at it and be like, this is literally me. This is like literally me right now, right? That's really what it's supposed to be. And that's okay. I just at the time I didn't get it. I thought I was supposed to like really be getting something specific out of it, and I was like, I don't, what am I doing here? Right? It just confused me at the time. But now I get it because it's literally me. I get that. Huh. So do you want to finish free run but keep ending up crying by the end of the episode? The story is really hard for you. Yeah, just like this constant ennui and loss and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That's how some people listen to almost all of Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park specifically. In the form of just AMVs over and over. Oh, man. No, I feel you. I feel you. You ever watch Evangelion? I watched some. I didn't love that one either. But I didn't dislike it the same way I disliked Code Geass. But it was just, it's another weird one where I was like, I mean, I I'll see some of it. I wasn't that into it. I liked certain scenes. I could tell what the vibe they were going for was, and it was very artsy fartsy. Okay, they were going full artsy fartsy on it, and I appreciated what they were doing with some of it. I just felt like that sort of storytelling, where it's all artsy fartsy and shit, is really hard to make an anime out of, and the way they did it was just like, it would have been better as a movie, right? And then there were movies, and the movies were better. I just felt like doing it in the format of a show was maybe not right for what they were going for. That's how I felt on it. But it was also so long that, like, you couldn't just make it into a movie, right? I don't know. Thoughts on Akira? Akira was one that I really loved. I loved it so much. I love it so much. That's a classic that I do actually really like. I remember just, there weren't a lot of things that were animated like that back then, you know? So it was just so, like, beautiful to watch. It was so beautiful to watch. So I loved it, man. You have it on VHS? I don't know if I have VHS or something. I have a physical copy of it. I do. I kind of want to rewatch it. Now I'm looking looking at it on the side. I love his big faux head. I love when his hair peels back and they reveal his giant faux head. It's my favorite part. No, I really liked it though. I did. Let's not kid ourselves. The greatest AMV of all time is the one Sonic the Hedgehog and Gangsta's Paradise. Creator was like Nostradamus. You know how many AMVs there are of Sonic and Shadow? And dude, something I love. This one Discord I'm in, the Cumcord, occasionally, it's usually someone like Annie or Viggy. Occasionally someone will find like an AMV from 2008 that's like that type of thing, and they'll just send it into the Discord, and they'll be like, dude, this goes crazy. And they'll just share like a 2008 YouTube video, some Shadow the Hedgehog AMV, and I'm like, stop it. Oh man. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. That's our treasure. I haven't sent one in there in a while, Garrick. I haven't, or like seen one in there. Garrick, we need to find one. Do you have one that goes hard? Let me find a good one. I'll do with Knuckles. Knuckles AMV. No, they're recent. I can't even begin to tell you what songs I'm seeing right now. Oh, Knuckles the Echidna, I Stand Alone AMV. Oh, man. This is the one. This is the one. I'm sending this in the Discord right now. I'm gonna send it and go. This goes crazy. It's so freaking cool, dude. It's so freaking cool. It's so freaking crazy. Garrick changed his name to say Garrick, parentheses, Tails. Oh, I'm gonna put Knuckles after my name. Hold on. I'm changing it. No, I can't do it on the streamer mode. I'll do it later. Why did Garrick stop RPing? He has never stopped RPing. It's in his life. It's in his blood. What do you mean? He RPs every day on stream. What do you mean? A lot of people stop playing RP because they get bored. You know? Or honestly, a lot of people just want to, like, play variety. And, I'm gonna be honest, the way certain servers are set up, or the way almost all servers are set up, it's really hard to, like, have a storyline occur and be involved in what's going on the server and also play casually. That's it. It just makes it really hard. You see it with me. See, with me, I literally am a variety streamer, and then characters, I'll have my characters show up, and they'll be like, "You're never around," and it's just like a negative, like, "Let's yell at you for not being here every day" kind of conversation, and I'm like, I'm a variety streamer. Like, why is this the plot point? You know? It's just like I have patience, so I'm fine. But I know a lot of people that if they experience that 2 times, they would just stop playing, straight up. Most people. So, you know. Last few months, RP is RPing. Oh, everything's going crazy right now. It has been going crazy for a while. So I've been having so much fun. But I have to get involved in it in weird ways because of my schedule. So, you know. When a lot of streamers are, like, dedicated to one thing and then suddenly, like, they swap off of it and they don't go back to it, a lot of the time it's because, like, a lot of types of content are all in or all out. It's one of the reasons I didn't do a lot with OnlyFangs, right? Like, I was invited. I was in the server. I even played a little bit of WoW. I didn't stream it. Because I would have had to keep up and pace with people, I would have had to stream it constantly. And I didn't want to do that to this channel. I did not think that you guys really, like, wanted to watch me stream a bunch of WoW Classic. I was straight out like, you know, yeah, the time commitment. And that's why a lot of people, you know, will, like, hop off of a thing and you just won't see them back in it because it's like you have to be in it or not. And you don't have to. I could just make, like, super characters or play my cop more, or, like, have my character leave her gang and just float around. Like I could do shit like that, but you know. Oh, you have the new CPU in can again? You should. We've been doing some really fun shit. Garrick, I'm literally on that server with, like, Dread every day. we need him to return. We need Glorion. I got crazy shit for you, okay? I'm setting up a lot of shit. Glad you didn't. So much unnecessary drama came out of that. Yeah. Most WoW content just doesn't interest you. I think my chat would not have liked me going on a WoW Classic arc. If it were with a specific group of friends, I think it would be okay. But generally, it was a bit more spread out. You would RP with everyone who was on the server, and you'd talk to so many people. And I just think, like, you guys wouldn't have liked it. So that's why I didn't really do it. And I tried to play casually. I was playing off stream a bit, but I couldn't pace. You know, I've played WoW before. Like, I used to play back in the day. And I know the time commitment, so I was just like, eh. Wish I could, but, you know. Horde, yeah. MMOs typically only appeal to the crowd that already plays them. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, this was like, OnlyFangs was a guild that was set up. I mean, it's like an older thing that's been redone now. It was specifically for RP, and it was specifically to bring a lot of people who had not normally played this game into it. So I think it would have actually been okay to do. I just didn't want to do the time. I didn't want to put in the time. I think a lot of people watched it that weren't normally WoW heads, to be honest. We're all WoW heads. Nah, I mean. Garrett grinded to 60 and quit. That would have been me, man. That would have been me. I didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me. Shosho RuneScape group Iron Man when? I just don't want to. I played RuneScape back in the day and I'm done. You know? I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm all right. You just couldn't get into WoW. I liked it back in the day. I played way back when. And I think I played a bit through Cataclysm a little, and then after that I kind of fell off. And I don't know. I don't think I could put that time in ever again. It was hard enough doing it one time, and I had a good time. I loved no lifing it, but I just can't bring myself to do it again. I keep trying, and I just stop. I think I could do it if I was playing all the time with certain friends, but then I'd have to pace at the same pace as them. I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work. I'd have to all in on it, you know? And that brings me back to the original point, you know, like that's why I don't do certain things on stream. It's all or nothing. You know, we already kind of like all or nothing to GTA a bit. Because I just really wanted to embark on an arc of some sort. We had been talking about it for years. You know? But that's because I knew a lot of you guys were into it and liked it. Whereas a lot of other stuff, I'm like, I just think a lot of the usual people wouldn't like these things. So. You got really into hardcore when OnlyFans started up but fell off when you died. Yeah, I mean, if you're a streamer, it's like you get this sick, nasty clip out of the death, right? People come in and they're ready to see you go again, and there are other streamers to play with, whatever. But if you're kind of just soloing it, it's tough. Mishojo 14 grind. I can't bring myself to do another 14 character. Oh my god, I tried because some of them were getting back into 14 a while back. So I made a character just for that, and I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. It's a slog. And I know I could have bought the story skip, but even then there's a bunch of stuff after that that I would have had to just click through constantly, and I was like, Remember that? So many people following you all around. That's the other problem. That's the other thing that I really don't like about playing MMOs on stream is I love MMOs and I love playing games that are server based with a lot of people on them. Like that's my most favorite thing. But when it's not an exclusive server in any way and anyone can hop on, we get followed around, we get friend requests, we get sometimes people are trying to not interfere, so they just stand around from afar and just watch you. And I just don't like that. I can't do that. You know? I can't do that. So like being on NoPixel was good because at least there's like a whitelist and it's well managed and everything. And yes, there are some people that will still do that, but you know, you can report or whatever. It's doable. But on like a WoW server, I don't know. There's not much you can do. 14? I don't like it. So I've just kind of avoided that. Oh, you were chilling with friends, all of a sudden a crowd appeared. You realized it's because Ari was live with Haruka and you watched a crowd follow them around Kugane. Yeah, like I don't play games to have a bunch of people like be in the way. You know what I mean? And like we're already streaming it so you can watch. You're already there and you're in the chat and you're a part of the stream. You know? So to then also like log in and just stand there, it just feels, I don't know. It makes me feel icky personally, so I don't like it. Now, it's one thing if you wanted to play with your community, right? And you're like, I'm making an FC, I want you to join, or something like that. That's different, but when you're just like vibing and they just show up, I don't like it. I don't like it, right? Most streamers seem to either love or hate the viewer entourage that happens in MMOs and public lobby games. Yeah, I think if I started a game on stream and I was like, we're making a guild, then it's fine. We did it in Throne and Liberty. I didn't really stream it much, but like we had a guild. Still have, technically. And you know, and stuff like that is good, but if it's like a thing I already played, no. No. Feel weird meeting you guys at a con. Can't imagine following you around in game. Oh, it happens during the con walkarounds too, though. It's people using their real bodies, their real forms to do it, so I find they do it a little less. They become more self-aware when they're like physically there. But yeah, when we do like the robot walkarounds, we have people just follow. They just follow. And I think like for a short bit is okay, but some people will follow for the whole walk around. The whole thing. And that's I'm like, what are you getting out of this? At least if you could like watch the stream, you can hear us talk and you're getting the content out of it. But if you're just like slowly walking behind a robot for an hour, I like they can barely even hear us, you know? It's just something that I don't get. I don't get. I think it's they're stun locked. They're excited and they want to be a part of it, but they're also stun locked. So they turn into like sludge and they just follow, you know? Like I don't think they're trying to do anything bad. So they just hover and exist like sludge on the ground, just bleh, the whole time. I don't know. That's why I don't go to events, dude. I have a lot of VTuber friends that will throw a mask on and go to a con or whatever. And like it's cute. It's nice to have people go up to you and be like, "Oh, you're this person? I'm a big fan." And like to people to see people. That's why I love doing the meet and greets. I love being able to see like people come up and I see them on camera. I hear their voice and everything and they're like, "Oh, I'm this username." And I'm like, "Oh, I've seen you," you know? Like I love that, but I know a lot of people that just get followed all the time and I don't like it. Primeval King, and they give the 5 W5. But I don't know, it's just like I wouldn't want to physically go because then what? Then what? You just get followed physically by people who are like meaning well but stun locked? You know what I mean? Because if they're like a creepy stalker, you can turn around and be mean and be like, "You're making me uncomfortable. Get out," right? But if they're not like doing anything bad and you could tell they're just like yeah, one of you said it's like a mix of FOMO and anxiety. Right, like and I get that. So what do you even say? You just ignore it. It just turns into an awkward situation that you I don't know. I don't know even what to do. You had a weird interaction with someone at TwitchCon who recognized your username and you're just a chatter? What did they say? Oh. Actually, I've had a few mods say that to me. They've gone to an event and someone sees like you know, if it's TwitchCon, they see their badge, or if they're talking, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm this person." They're like, "Oh, the mod," and then they like, it's this like familiarity, but it's like an over familiarity, right? The basic familiarity is fine. You're like, "I recognize you. I'm in that community too." Woo, that's nice. But then there's like a level where sometimes people push it to being a bit overfamiliar. I don't know. It's odd. But Blazing, you see how that makes you feel? Now imagine if you're me and you're like, and you're on a robot and you're zooming around and there's just all these people doing that to you like over and over. It's just, no. No. Yeah, it's like, it's hard to describe to people how it feels. I don't know. And it's such an awkward thing because you know they're doing it out of a good place, right? It's tough, man. It's tough. Some chatters you wouldn't mind meeting and chatting with IRL, but some are on the watch list. And there's some people that type totally normally, and then you meet them and you're like, "Oh, they're odd." There's some people it's the opposite. They seem odd when they type, and then you meet them, they're totally nice. Everyone's very different, is really all it means. Some people are weird in both places. Some people are not weird in both places, right? But everyone feels different when they're in, you know, person and spoken. So whenever I do meet and greets, I mean, it's just kind of nice to see who's who, personally. I like it. But because I'm not physically there, I'm like, if any of them are a little odd, I'm like, you know what? I don't really care because I'm just talking to them. You know? They're just talking into a mic and I'm like, "Hey, it's going down, pal." So it's like a good experience for me, no matter what. You know? Yeah, you struggle with seeing a quote-unquote famous person because the line between cool interaction and way too much is paper thin. And you don't know, like, what mood that person's in. That person could be super frustrated and overwhelmed because they're running around at an event, like, going between all these different booked things. And then you become a problem. or they're actually just chilling and you're not a problem. So it's like, I don't know, it's hit or miss. Hit or miss. Yeah, cosplayers have it rough. I agree. I agree. I have a lot of friends that have done that sort of thing, and they've talked about so many stories that they have where they go to events and people are just touchy, people are weird, people are overfamiliar. They're dressed as a character that that person likes, so they start like treating them like they are the character and not just like a person. It's odd, man. It's odd as hell. Really, Hansy? Yeah, it gets weird. I don't know what you could even do. Like, not cosplay. what's the what's what's the resolution there? Uh, don't do the thing you like doing because there's some people that are weird and let them ruin it for you. Not really, it's not really good. Do a panel and dip. Yeah, but what if you're not like famous enough to get a panel? Right? I don't know, it's rough. Have someone that kind of act like a bodyguard, I guess. Yeah, but then you're like dragging your friend into it, or you're
I
paying
can
somebody.
see how people would get mesmerized. I counter this by reminding myself at the end of the day they're a person just like you that eat, sleep and struggle the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think people all logically know that, but yeah, you have to like remind yourself, this is a person, right? I find that with VTubing, it gets really rough for some people, especially the more they act like a character, the more they get treated like a character. And it's one thing if you're just making like YouTube videos and you're not interacting with people in real time, but when you're streaming and you're interacting with the chat, that's real time. So you're getting people coming in while you're just gaming and vibing that treat you like a character. And depending on how you act, that might be what you want. Sometimes it's too much, though. There's some people that definitely like they take the humanity out of it a little bit, which is a little odd, a little odd. Yeah, we can't have nice things. I've got some friends that definitely have gone to places where you tend to be more of a character and done these things, and it's really rough for them. It's really rough, and that's why I kind of always like didn't worry about it too much, because I was like, I just don't want to deal with the consequences of that. I don't want to like over characterize myself, and then I just have to deal with like everyone role playing in my chat like they're also a character at me, and it just it gets to be a lot. I'm good. I'm good. You said, I hate to say it, but it's sadly true. Some people only talk to cosplayers in hopes of hooking up with them, and cosplay is really cringe. Yeah, I don't think it's just in cosplay. I think it's just conventions. To be honest, you get a lot of people that are down on themselves. They think the only way they could ever meet someone is at a convention. It's their only chance. The only way I can ever meet a girl that might like me is by going to a convention, because that is the only place where girls would go that like the things that I like. It's just like not always that simple, but a lot of people are kind of in that mindset. And they go to a convention and then they're like searching for a wife the whole time. You know what I mean? They're like locking on to every girl as a potential prospect and trying to see if it's like possible. People do that. A lot of people. Yeah, they do it at concerts too. Oh my god, you go to a concert for like something within a specific genre and people will be like, it's time. I'm gonna find my wifey who also likes metal, And there's a lot of people that do that. It's not just cons, it's just events and things in general. And not everyone's there looking for that. Some people are just there to chill, and they don't want to be, subject to that. They just don't. Dude, even shit like going to a hobby shop and they have like a little tabletop area set up and you just want to play something. So you go with a friend and play something. People will see you playing it And if, you're the gender they're interested in, they will walk up and be like, you like that too? And like their intent is purely like, I'm testing to see if I can wife them, you know? And I think there's nothing wrong with showing interest in somebody and seeing if they'll show interest back, but it's how you do it, you know? It's how you do it. And I feel like, I don't know, some people are in a moment of desperation where they're like, if I don't talk to someone at this event, it's not going to have any chance of happening until the next event. So I gotta, really put myself out there. And then that turns into, worse stuff. Worse stuff, man. I've experienced that. I've had a lot of friends experience that. It gets rough. It doesn't help that those people don't tend to have the best people skills either. Sometimes their people skills are fine. The problem is they're acting differently than they normally do. Right? Like when they're out and about in the world, they're not like really trying to hit on people or put themselves out there and in front of them like that. But yeah, right, they're like full sending it because they're like, oh my god, I'm at an event about my interest. I need to do this. And yeah, them full sending it is what can kind of make it weird. Sheer number of times you've watched a dude backseat his love interest during Friday Night Magic and wonder why it wasn't working. Dude, I think the worst is, okay, one of my friends, she had this dude who kept hitting on her, and she was at a convention and she was playing on was it Jew Beat? It was like a rhythm game thing. And she said this dude kept coming up while she was playing this thing, and he'd be like, yo, let me get next song, and then he'd like get on the machine and like perfect it. He'd be like, so you just got a something something, and then he'd be like, all right, now you, and she'd go, and he was being good at not hogging the machine, like he was being good at that, she said. So she would go and start playing, and she said the guy would just stand behind her and just like cheer her on. He wasn't even backseating. He wasn't. He was just cheering her on, but she was getting so pissed off because she was just playing the game. He'd be like, all right, nice, good combo. He's just doing this the whole fucking time. And she's like, I don't fucking know you, She said at some point she finally said it. Like, she saw him like 2 days in a row, and she was just there to like play the same thing over and over, So she kept running into the same dude. And she said day like 3 of it, she just turns to the dude and she told him, what'd she say? She said, hey man, I don't like you. Can you leave? It was something like as on the nose as that. And the dude was just like, and then just dipped. And I was like, man, you waited until like day 3. She said day 1 after he did it for several songs, but she just was like afraid to be confrontational, which I understand. But man, like, how do you, it's so awkward to reject someone when they're like, they're being so supportive and they're being nice about it. It's just really fucking annoying, Like, hey, wish you wouldn't do this. I don't know. That dude became multi-gay. Oh, man. Worst thing she can say is no. Well, she told me she, like, had already, like, pretty clearly implied to him, like, look, I got it. Hey, I don't need this. Hey, I'm doing all right here without this, and things like that. So, I don't know. What can you even do at that point? Right? Like, what do you do? Nothing. You just have to be mean after a certain point. I don't know, man. What do you do, man? When someone's coming up to you and they're like, you're one of my only chances, and they're just like full sending, you kind of just have to give a clear no. Because they're kind of full sending their intent at you, so you gotta full send it back, right? You just gotta get used to being confrontational, I guess. I guess the beating around the bush is the problem. Well, a lot of women have this issue, and it's completely understandable, because the thing is, when you clearly reject somebody, you just never know how that person's going to react. And most women have experienced the really negative reactions. So, you know, like, you try to do everything you can to not get there because it's in your best interest for your own safety to be like that, to be honest. Wing, thank you for the sub, welcome. That's just how it is, right? Because, like, if you talk to some guy and he's coming on to you, he's being really nice, he's showing nothing but positive feelings toward you, and you're like, hey, sorry, I'm not interested. And you're really clear, hey, sorry, I'm not interested. That's not even a mean way of saying that. But sometimes you say that to someone and they fly off the handle. They go crazy. Or now they become desperate. Now they're like, I have to do something to make her talk to me. So now they're like they start getting really, you know, boundary pushy and shit. So, you know, you just don't know what that person's reaction is going to be. And you hope, you know, that you just say no and they'd be like, okay, and leave and just try someone else. But I'd say, honestly, more often than not, they keep pushing. Even if it's a little bit and they do walk away, more often than not, you get people going like, oh, come on, just something, meh, meh, meh. And then, you know, that's like a fight or flight moment. When people start acting like that, they don't realize that they're freaking you out. So, you know, it's just stuff like that where, like, what can you do? You kind of have to, like, be lukewarm about it until they get it. And if they don't get it, you know, what do? Take that risk? Or do you just, like, physically run away, you know? It's just how it is. Gotta manage people as they are in the context you are for safety reasons. Yeah. Your sister's messaged you after a couple times, not taken no nicely. Yeah. I think, you know, at least if you're in a public space, you're not safe, but you're a lot safer, depending on where you are, you know, because you can talk to someone else, even if you don't know them, and be like, hey, I'm having this issue with this person. You know, sometimes the situation doesn't call for that. Sometimes you can't say that to anyone because this person's just literally in your face. Like, when can you secretly mention that to someone? Never, you know? So going somewhere in groups is just the best. That's why the girls go out with the girls a lot, you know? So you don't have to deal with them. Yeah, when you just said Somni. He said, I don't think there's anything wrong with hitting on people at these events. It's just the air of desperation and expectation that makes it weird. I think it's respectable when a guy takes rejection well without being weird about it. That's exactly it. That's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like, shooting your shot is not a problem. It's how you do it. And right, the desperation and expectation thing, you can feel it a lot of the time when someone's, whether they're saying it to you or you see them saying it to someone else, you can feel like there is an expectation. They feel like there's a higher chance this might work out because, oh, we both like the same game. Oh, we're in the same area, whatever. There are a few things that check off some boxes that maybe it will work, you know, and that's totally understandable. So they're shooting their shot. But it's like, sometimes they look like they're flabbergasted when they're not even considered, you know? They didn't plan on the person saying no. Right, exactly. Like, they don't understand why. Or they're like, but they don't know me yet. We have this thing in common, so they should get to know me. And then they get this, like, I've heard a lot of dudes say things that kind of imply that they have it in their head that they deserve a chance, right? Because let's say it's a convention again, right? And they're both playing Jew Beat, and they're like, wow, we're at a convention, we're both playing the same game, we have something in common. There are a lot of people that seem to build up in their head like this expectation that they should be given a chance because of that. So then when they shoot their shot and they're told a straight up no, they're like, they can't fathom. They can't imagine that they weren't at least given a chance. So that they push. They're like, but don't you think we should something? Why don't we just go eat something? Why don't, you know? And they start trying to, like, in desperation, try to make it work, you know? And that's when it just gets weird, man. But I've seen that quite a lot. A lot of girls that cosplay deal with that. Oh, you're dressed as this character from this game I like? That means you have to talk to me. You know? Me, a biped with a heartbeat. Yeah. I have 2 legs. You have 2 legs. It's like we have so much in common. It's like we do. Wonder what leads helps lead up to that mentality scene. I've heard of it too, but it still feels alien. It's nothing weird in that person's head. I think they're just building themselves up. I think they're just like it's really simple. It's really simple. They're in this place, you're in this place. They like you a little bit. They don't know you that well, but they're, feeling a small something. And then you talk to them and engage with them a little bit. It's not a no right now. So they're like, ooh, okay. In their head, they're imagining all these positive scenarios because you've given them a little positive feedback, and they just have hyped themselves up, right? They've simply hyped themselves up, and that expectation gets built. It's the same thing if I tell you, I have a lot about a video game that I played, and I'm like, yeah, I really loved it because the XYZ, and then you play it and it's like a letdown. They're doing the same thing where they're just kind of building up in their head. So they're not imagining the scenario of getting rejected at all. They're just imagining, like, how good could it be? And then when they say something, it just doesn't compute when you say no sometimes. Right? Yeah, they go from she's cute to where should we go on our honeymoon in their head before they approach. I mean, it's not always that crazy, but yeah, sometimes. Yeah, the thought of a relationship is nice, but in reality, unless they're looking for that, I don't tend to push or pursue if it's not there. Which is good and respectable, and it should be like that. I think people with less experience just don't know how to rein in the excitement, They're just overexcited, right? And like again, it comes from a good place. I think a lot of guys know what not to do, but don't know how to actually do it the right way. Does that make sense? Yeah, well, I mean, it's a rough thing because, like, okay, when you go and shoot your shot, realistically, most people get rejected more than they get accepted, right? Unless you're some beautiful, gorgeous Adonis, most people are going to get rejected more, or they have not even tried. It's one or the other, right? So, number one, not having that experience makes everyone fumble. Number two, when you shoot your shot, if someone likes you, you could say something super fucking creepy and they'll be like, oh my God, he likes me, right? You could say something, you could drop the greatest one-liner, you could say something that actually was really good, but if they don't like you, they don't like you, and sometimes it comes off creepy because they're just getting attention from you that they didn't want, right? So it's like you can't even calculate it unless you already know if they like you or not, which you don't know, right? So that's the thing is, again, if you have a neutral line that like works for anyone, then the way they react is going to the way they feel about it is going to completely depend on how they feel about you. So you kind of can't train it. You can get a little better. You can come up with some good lines that help you, or ways of saying things that help you put the ball in their court without them feeling super uncomfortable, but it'll always be a range, right? Maybe these events should host events for singles. I agree. I think more events should have like speed dating and shit. They should. If you're not getting the higher voice than normal when they talk to you, just walk away, bro. The higher voice thing isn't always an indicator, though. Sometimes you're literally at a concert and people are just yelling. And even then, it's not always an indicator. Some people just do it because they're nervous. Because they're just anxious, and that's it. It's easy. I think you're cute. You got a boy/girlfriend. Yeah, and then they can go, yes, I do. And you go, oh, okay. You go like, all right, hey, no problem. You have to say something like that makes you sound very like a chill guy so that they're not like nervous. Or they say, no, don't have one, but I'm not interested. And you go, hey, that's all you, all good. Saying the phrase all good is one of my most favorite things to say, or hey, no worries. I say all good and no worries to people all the time. Hey, do you want to do this thing? No, I can't because of no worries. They don't even have to explain, dude. That puts people at ease. And I recommend you do that if you're trying to talk to someone. and you're trying to like shoot your shot a little bit, or you're checking like, are you taken or whatever, and they're like, something's on you, like, hey, no worries. The moment they start indicating maybe it's a no, you can even cut them off right there as long as you're not rude about it. You'd be like, put your hand up and go, you don't have to explain, it's all good. Right? Like that diffuses it so much, so you don't have to. It even makes you feel better because now you don't have to deal with like this like awkward, like, oh no, I got rejected kind of thing. Now you're the chill guy. You know what I mean? So you can kind of put yourself in your own like chill space too. But yeah, all good and no worries are like my two favorite phrases, man. For absolutely everything. You said you did speed dating at convention, not a good experience, literally a 20-to-1 guy to girl ratio. Honestly, it's like that everywhere. Even clubs, when they're like, oh, girls get in for less, it's because there are no girls and they need to get girls in the door. Because that many dudes are going there with the intent to find girls. It's very strong. It happens a lot. It's rough, man. It's fucking rough. So that's why they like, girls are getting for free. That's why they do it. You good, Sho? You good? You looking, Shoto? You looking? What you doing? What you doing? We're talking about boys and girls. You said you've more recently seen a lot of clubs and dating events being all girls because no guys go anymore. I don't buy it. Maybe some, but overall, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Isn't that crazy? The world is practically 50-50, but you you just don't see girls like going out to these things. It's rough. I watched a show that was really cute, but also pissed me off. What was the name of it? Hold on, let me find it. Oh, okay. It was called Love on the Spectrum. Okay, it was a show about people with varying degrees of autism. And they were trying to help them find love. And they weren't like forcing too many people together. They were just trying to put people in scenarios so they could like try, like real adults, to do this on their own, right? I both loved and hated this show because I loved a lot of the people appearing on the show, but I hated who they were setting some of them up with. Oh, it was getting me so mad. I was getting so mad at that show. There were certain people that were doing great and they were not like forcing anything on them. But there were some people that were like, I don't know, it just felt like you could tell what was going on with them. And you could tell where they were not understanding the person they're sitting across from that they're potentially dating. And yet no one's telling them why it's not working. And I'm like, I know you people don't want to butt into their lives, but these people have certain issues with understanding certain things, and sometimes you do have to help them. So I appreciated that the show was like very hands off, like let's just drop them into some scenarios and like, let them experience this and see how they feel. But there were some, people on the show where I was like, I don't think they should be doing this to them. It was pissing me off so much. There were some of them that were like really cute though, like the scenes were funny. And I liked that it humanized them in a way, right? Like you don't get to see how a lot of people who have, honestly like larger degrees of difficulty with this kind of stuff get through this. So I appreciated that it really humanized that and made it feel real and put it in front of people. But there were also some people where I was like, they should not be on this show. Some of it was making me real mad. I don't know. Honestly, good. It's still good watching though. It is. I liked that show. Water and oil matchups. Yeah, one that was making me really mad was there was one guy, he's just like overall a happy guy and loves everyone and everything. So he was just talking to the girl that they put him on a date with. They let him kind of meet a few people and pick, and he was like, yeah, she's very cute and pretty and nice. And he was so simple in what he was looking for, because I think there was a lot he still didn't understand there. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you should be trying to find him love. I don't think anyone should be trying to find him love. Because they would put any girl in front of him and be like, what do you think of her? And he'd be like, she's cute and pretty and nice and she talks to me. Like that's what he was like. And I was like, I don't like that they're doing this to him. I don't know. It's pissing me off. It It was pissing me off. And he was such a lovable dude too. Like, so I was getting mad on his behalf. I was like, why are you doing this to him? You know? Oh, I was getting so angry. And then there was one guy. There was one guy who I really liked, and he just, when he would talk, okay, so he would speak completely normally. You'd see him hang around his family speaking completely normally, and then they'd be like having him sit there alone and talk about what he thinks about women, and he'd like put on this medieval accent. He'd be like, to find a woman is to something something, and it was really cute. I was like, wait, he's really building this up in his head, and he's imagining romance as like this thing he's seen in the movies. It was really cute. I don't know. I liked it. I suggest genuinely watching the show. There were just some scenes that just fucking pissed me off, man. Pissed me off. Oh. He was really... Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find him. What was his name? I gotta see if I can figure out what his name was. Connor! His name was Connor. I loved watching this guy exist. I want you to see this because so I have a lot of friends with varying amounts of and degrees of autism. Okay. I've experienced this with my friends.
And know what it's like to mocked and
Yeah.
have popular girls like me just to try to embarrass me in front of a crowd.
To embarrass you? Fuck.
I didn't fall for it, but it was infuriating nonetheless.
Yeah, and the frustration when you don't understand and realize later, or it gets explained to you, or it's just a realization you just come to on your own after thinking through the situation, can be so fucking annoying. So annoying. I really don't like when people like mess with them. What I like is on this show, no one was trying to mess with any of these people. They were just trying to put people in front of each other. So something they did was they put this one guy who was a major character in the show, Connor, into a speed dating event. And I was laughing so hard because one of the things that he has trouble doing, you know, as many folks do, is not being brutally honest. You know, he would like say a lot of what he thought. And he had some really, really strong ideas in his head of like what he wants in a woman, what he thinks he needs. And he was very set on like, we have to have a lot of things in common. Here. He wasn't thinking, you know, and he wasn't, not that he wasn't thinking, he just didn't think of putting himself in their shoes in that moment, right? You love him? Let me see if I can find more clips of him. He was so great. He was I don't know if they put that many clips of this show on YouTube, to be honest. My favorite was Tanner. There was this guy named Tanner. Oh, Connor and Tanner were so good. Oh, wait, no. James. I'm gonna show you the best guy. There was this guy named James. This was another one that was just so brutally honest, and I loved this too. I would rather a human woman do that than a cat. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I loved this show so much. His parents are so nice. His parents are great. No, I think, yeah, no. One of my most favorite things on the show was just watching, like, his parents, like, poke fun at him. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I'm telling you, you should watch this show. You should watch this show. It's a solid one. I think there were just some people on the show where I was watching it and I was like, take them off the show right now. Like I was getting mad on their behalf because it was just, ugh. Who was the one that looked right at the girl's cleavage and was like, oh my god, mid-sentence, love those two? Oh my god, yeah, who was it? Fuck. It was one of the guys. Yeah. He like sees the girl and he goes, oh my god. Oh, it was so funny. Because the thing is, it's just what they're thinking. That's all. It's just what they're thinking. Let me see. Was it when the guy looked at Danny? Was it Danny, the girl with the glasses who liked animation? I felt bad for Danny because Danny was really doing her thing. Like, she was really doing her shit. She made the animation for him. Was it when she was with that guy Adon or with Solomon? I remember. I remember there's this whole. Oh, or you know who I loved? Steve. They had this older guy. Oh my god, there we go. They had this older guy on the show, Steve, and I'm so glad that they brought him on because like they were trying to represent someone who's way, way, way into adulthood. Didn't even realize for so long that what was up with him, that what made him seem different was that he had autism because he's just older and he came from a time when, you know, they just did not know this stuff. They didn't know how to test for this stuff. They couldn't identify this stuff or they just didn't. Wow. I felt so bad because I loved Steve so much. He was so nice and he deserved so much better than fucking Sharona. Sharona. Man, it just made me so mad. It made me so angry. Here, I'm gonna try and find a... We gotta find Tanner. Tanner was someone who I absolutely loved, but I don't think he should have been on the show. I don't think he should have been on the show because his innocence level was like to an extreme. Like to a huge extreme. So they put him on a date with a girl and she has Down syndrome. Okay? Now, I have had several friends with siblings with Down syndrome or, you know, people that I've met throughout my life. A lot of them have a lot of trouble forming romantic connections. So when they picked her, immediately I was like, okay, hold on. In my experience, so many of these folks it doesn't quite compute for them, and that's been very tough. So I was like, okay, interesting choice, but not all of them are the same. So, you know, I was like, all right, well, give it a shot. Surely they picked one that like makes sense. Guys, I want you to watch this and understand why I was so mad. So the thing is, that's how the whole date goes. He just yaps, and then at the end they're like, did you like her? And he was like, yeah, she was very cute and pretty and nice. And I'm like, no, because then he's gonna end up with someone who's just gonna listen to him talk, and he said he wants someone talking to him. That's good. I was dying watching him on the show because like he was so wholesome and nice, and then he wasn't getting what was happening in that situation and why that might be bad for him, right? He was just like, she listened to me and we talked, and that was, you know, the end of it for him. So I don't know. I was just like, I was going crazy watching it. Oh. I gotta show you Danny. I gotta show you Danny. So there was this girl on the show who was she knew what she wanted. Okay? She knew what she wanted, but she was so she was so honest with everyone. And I really liked how fucking honest she was. We gotta find, or when she's talking about Solomon, there were two dudes that they had her trying to date. And I was like, yeah, she had no filter. Yeah, same with Sharona, absolutely no filter. Here's... No, he didn't look that bad. He really didn't. I thought they were pretty well matched, to be honest. But like, this guy really liked her, and she was just being like this. And I was like, no. Bro looks fine to me. There was nothing wrong with him. There was nothing wrong with him. Nothing at all. He was he was a nerd, okay? And he just really liked Star Wars, and she was also a nerd, and she was obsessed with animation, and she was even teaching classes about animation, showing off her own projects and stuff. She was like a real go-getter, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. Dude dresses like I don't remember if he was a Jedi or a Sith Lord or what, but he goes to like a convention with her, and she's dressed as Twilight Sparkle. And and I was looking at them and I'm like, this is going pretty well. And then she had to say shit like that to him on the date, and I was like, no. I was getting so mad. I was getting so angry. Ugh. Do you want to cringe? Yes or no? Do you want to watch something that will really make you cringe or no? No? Maybe? Yes? No? How about this? How about this? I'll play the scene. I'll take myself off the screen. Okay. He was being so good, okay? He could have gotten so pissed by this. He could have been like, "What the fuck is this?" And instead, he was great to her. Okay? And I was like, you can't go to this guy and then be like, anyway, I'm not gonna judge a book by its cover and call him ugly. I was so pissed. This show, what a good watch, man. What a good watch, okay? Because it was such a roller coaster. He was smooth with the teach line. He was smooth with it. He was. I think she didn't realize how smooth he was. Right? She was just like, that makes sense. Anyway, this show's a banger, dude. This show's a banger. Should watch it. I was gonna ask where the cringe was until they started kissing. Yeah, I can't watch it. I can't do it. But he even says to her at the end, he's like, "You're a very good teacher." Like, while they're kissing. And I'm like, man. Ugh. She wasn't as brutal as Connor. Connor was unmatched on the show. I'm gonna be honest. Connor and James were fucking incredible. He also had, like, the greatest mom I had ever seen. The greatest mom. She knew exactly how to talk to him. And she knew how to help him control. Like, he would get angry here and there, get frustrated. And she knew exactly how to help him logically think through why he shouldn't be so frustrated at this thing. To help calm him down instead of just being like, oh, relax, His mom was so great. And I was like, can we get a show about his mom? Like, can she do seminars about how to parent someone with this issue? Because she was so good, man. Loved her. Yeah, when he went now, she tells me. Yeah, that guy Adon, who was dating Danny, was great. Yo, hi Nostro. Yeah, the show was called Love on the Spectrum. It was a banger, honestly. I think there were 2 seasons. I only watched one of them. James was the guy that was like, I wish a human woman would do that to me, not a dog. That guy, he was on both seasons, I think.
Have you seen the dating show on Netflix where they put people in full animal prosthetic makeup? It was called Sexy Beasts. It was a trip.
No. Oh, no. I've noticed more shows like that. There's one, I haven't watched it, but there's one where, they just have people talk. They sit them all in a bunch of rooms and they just call each other. So they're just getting a voice and what the person's saying, and there's absolutely no visual. And I understand the sentiment of you should get to know someone and then see them. Maybe it's called Love is Blind, maybe it's something like that. I get it. But the physical part of things and how people look is absolutely a factor. And I'm not a fan of them taking that out entirely because I think it's worse. To be honest, I think it makes people feel so bad if that person is really into them when they're talking to them and then they drop the looks on them and they realize it's just there's something about it that they just can't do it. That's so much more hurtful, isn't it? Right? And like there's absolutely something to be said where like when you talk to someone, if they're not your type physically, but you like their personality, sometimes they just become more attractive in your eyes, right? Like it just doesn't bother you anymore. If it bothered you a little bit, if the idea of it bothered you being with that person when you just saw them, it just kind of goes away for a lot of people when they end up just really enjoying someone's personality. But that should happen naturally. That should be from meeting them in person for that to happen. There's just a there's something about it. It feels very out of order and it feels weird because then those shows, it's kind of like they're setting people up to look at someone and go, oh, you know what I mean? Right, right. And people have preferences, exactly. They might actually be a really like attractive person, but it's not the person's type. And then that's fucked up, right? But maybe that's why the shows like that are so like interesting to watch. I don't know. Used to watch one show called Dating in the Dark. Funny but brutal when people got rejected when they got shown how they look. Did they let them like hold hands and stuff in that one? Were they like in the same room? Like literally dating in the dark or what? That's interesting. That's interesting to me. We had this weird ass show in the Netherlands where they put people on a secluded island, a secluded place, naked, and it's a blind date. That's fucked. Naked. Oh my god. I want that now, but with VTuber avatars. Oh, so then they can choose like how to represent themselves visually to the other person. That's interesting because then, there's something to be said about VTubing. Like, it's not what someone exactly looks like, but it's what they chose. And it says something about their tastes, their preferences, or how they want to be seen. So there's still something you get out of that, right? So I think that is interesting.
An issue me and my family ran into was I could not handle being lightly touched. It freaked me out so much. My dad knew this and made sure it was rough, not like that.
Yeah, like properly,
I
yeah.
eventually grew out of it, but it was a real issue.
That's a real issue with some people, yeah, depending on what they've got going on with them. Yeah. The physicality part can be like like up until that point it's fine, and then all of a sudden they're faced with that and they're like, oh, whether it be overall or just like certain types of touch, that like the sensory shit can get to people, It can be rough. Like Naked and Afraid. Yeah, it sounds like that show they were talking about was like Naked and Afraid, but it was a dating show. I don't know. I think I love watching dating shows and things. It's like my most favorite content because it can be really funny. It can be really dramatic, all in one. But I don't know. It can be brutal. Oh, yeah. Here's a video. 20 singles blind date in total darkness. Oh my god, wait. Yeah, I do. There are some cuts of the actual show Dating in the Dark, but there are people who do their own versions of this. Dating in the Dark UK. Oh my god. Wait, I think that's a really good idea. Because then also they can figure out if they get along with them on like the touch kind of way, but not like without seeing them. That's also kind of weird because I would just never touch somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just met them, you can't even see them, and what are you supposed to do? Tap their arm and shit? No. I'd be like, all right, I'll sit over here, you sit over there, Ugh. Right? Like the concept sounds great, but then when you actually try to think about it, you're like, ugh. For me, at least. I don't know. That's interesting, though. Kind of see a thing in here. Dating show, but you have to do your worst voice ever. Dating show, but everyone's doing a character. And whoever can do the best character You have to be attracted to the person's sense of humor. How about that? You're cooking? I think I am. Because here's the thing. I think something that really gets people is when someone, number one, is funny, but it's the way that they're funny, the type of humor they have, really is what something that attracts people to other people. So I think a dating show where you have to like assume a character and do bits would be really funny. And then they have to guess who they want to go on a date with, but they only got to hear the person doing their bits and doing their character. That would actually be so funny. That would be so good. I think that would actually be like better than just talking to someone in the dark. I don't know. My opinion, it's time to shine. Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, it could be so good. I was laughing because we were on the alt stream yesterday. We rated Zed, and Zed does this voice. He does this voice, and it sounds really, really, really similar to my voice that I do for like my opinions, except he's just being British with it, and he's being like forward nasal instead of I'm like, I don't know how to describe this, but when I do my cop's voice, it's very like back nasal. He sounds like this. So it's very like raised up. This is more like this, you know? It's nasal, but it's coming from the front of your face. And I was laughing so hard. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, God, imagine people doing bits like that. It's so funny when people are British. Yeah, I know. It's funny when they're fake British, though. I think it's better when it's like Americans doing British accents. Because you can hear how bad they are. Oh. But I think people assuming characters like that, you know, I'm picturing it. That could be great. That could be really great. You have everyone come on and do a character and then decide who they like. Speed dating, but the only info they have is your Twitch username. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, okay. Then someone falls in love with the character, not the actual person. Oh, I know. Oh, it could be so awful. Ooh, a dating show where you use a VTuber model and voice mod, so it's purely on personality. Yeah, you just get a bunch of people and just hand them like different avatars and voice mod and let them go. That could be funny. You get nothing from them then. You get nothing. You don't know what their voice sounds like. You don't know what they look like. You just know what they chose. Oh, that'd be so good. Said Brits are so good at doing American accents, though. I disagree. I disagree. Depends on which one. It's gut-wrenching when people ask what my Twitch name is at TwitchCon. You have to say, ooh, woo, sweet Sakura. Oh, no. You fucking did it to yourself, dude. You go on some dating show. So what's your username? Oh, no. Yeah, nothing's worse, man. Nothing's worse. That's awful. That's awful. No. Yeah, you did it to yourself. I mean, what can you do? Get some reactions to yours? Yeah, Dickles89. Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet. Oh my god. My viewers are screwed. It would be so funny, though. It would be so funny. Let's come up with the worst dating show prompt. I think making people RP as stupid characters is one of the best, but you need people who can actually do voices for that. How about you need like to put people in scenarios where they're going to become irritable to make a really bad one, right? You need a dating show where people just keep getting interrupted. And I don't know how you do that. It could happen any which way. I think you need a show where they just keep getting interrupted. Every time they come up with a plan or do something and they really build themselves up to it, you switch gears. And then people have to decide if they want to be with the other person based off of how they handle friction. We'll make it a really realistic dating show to figure out if they could actually be with each other long term. Silent library, but during a date. Oh, wait, that could be good. If you laugh, the date ends. That could be good to start with. That could be good to start with. And you just have comedians come in and do stupid bits the whole time. Dating show, but both people's phones are ringing the entire time. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. You laugh, you're single. Oh, man. Speed dating only using a soundboard. Oh, fuck. It's too limited, too limited. I'm trying to think of a really bad prompt. Okay, hear me out. Dating show, but they have a limited number of days and a bunch of tasks that involve manual labor. You go and buy a gold rush town that's basically a ghost town, okay? And you put them in it, and you're like, hey, here are tents and basic amenities like a thing to boil water, etc. You have to restore this town. And you just make them do like fucking manual labor. So they're just tired all the time. But them building shit together really brings out, you know, who they really are. Manual labor really makes the beast come alive, okay? And that's how they can decide who they actually want to be with, is based off of how they act in that situation. I think that would be good. I think that would be really good. Dating show where they're in a coal mine and they have a daily quota. Yeah, get the black lung together. Then they're all sad and single at the end. You have a fully renovated gold mining town. Exactly, exactly. Call it labor of love. Oh my god. Oh my god. You said a dating show that's just digging wells in Africa. Yeah. You can go to the edge of the Sahara where they're trying to make the green wall, which we've talked about it before. Wonderful project. Incredible. Working very well. Beautiful humanitarian effort. Just saying. But you go and you have to go and you have to dig those half circles and plant in them all day. Humanitarian work. And you make people do that, but then it's also a dating show. Demonic mic voices appearing again when you're louder. Oh my god. I did some shit to try and fix it. I don't have anything on that should be doing that. Does it? I wonder if it's only through OBS or if it's happening in general. I have to test it later. Mods one of you. I'm gonna grab one of you and call one of you and just like yell at you on the mic and figure out, you know, noticing it more as the stream goes on. You know, okay, so each time people have mentioned it, I've like tried some things. But I've done a full unplug and like redo. And I've checked through all software and nothing is weird there. So I kind of just don't know. Kind of just don't know. It does sound like a wire issue. That's what I was thinking. So I like move stuff. Maybe I'll replace some cables. Maybe I'll take some out later and I'm not gonna do it midstream. It'll fuck it up. But I'll see if I have an extra XLR cable and we'll see if I can swap some stuff out. I thought it was something like maybe a wire was touching another wire, because sometimes the signal kind of, you know, when two wires touch, sometimes your mic will pick that up a little bit and a little bit of the signal will make it into your mic feed. So I kind of wondered if it was something like that, but it didn't seem to fix it. I don't know. Now I'm looking at my wires. I'll try it again later. I'll try it again. Maybe I'll go live on alt later just to troubleshoot. Troubleshooting stream where I just like unplug shit and plug it back in and then talk on the mic. Maybe. Maybe. You are now magnetic north. Any software evidence of fixing it? No. No. I've already checked all of that. Everything is the same on what... Anything I could possibly check on my computer is the same. So I'm pretty sure that means it's hardware. Pretty sure it's hardware related. No OBS updates, no software updates for anything related to my... anything, you know, Windows, my audio, my mic, my interfaces. So it's gotta be something like that. So I'll, yeah, smack it. Yeah, I've been trying things in between each stream, hoping that it would be fixed by the next one. And I don't hear it myself, always, so... I don't know. Anyway. Jickles, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome on in. What do you think about... Okay. Dating show idea. What do you think about people's families hang out? And based off of how the families are, they then make their kids date. How awful do you think it would be? Like, you have parents go out and hang out and talk about their home life and all that stuff. You discovered an arranged marriage? Yeah, but it's never like a dating show, though. It's never just a dating show, like a reality TV thing, you know? That's just shit that happens in real life. Instead, I want something like that. It's called Date My Mom. I loved Date My Mom. Dude, that show went crazy. No, but that one was different because that was the parent dating, well, not dating, but it was the parent hanging out with their prospects. Instead, I would rather the parents hang out with the parents. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Even your partner hates their mom. I mean, you would cast people who don't hate their parents. That's the caveat. You would cast people who have all right relationships with their parents. That's like the baseline. You literally can't do that show if you cast people who hate their families, you know? But you pick people who have like pretty good or all right or great relationships with their parents, and then, you know, go for it. Go for it. What about MILF Manor? Again, totally different type of show, but holy fuck, that was a train wreck. That was an absolute train wreck. That show was terrible. Terrible. Awful. Dating show, but you have people start off with introducing their worst traits and gradually get better. I think it's hard when you ask people to do it themselves, though, right? Like, they always will hide shit or they'll, like, describe it in a way that's not so bad or, you know, like, sugarcoat everything. You would kind of need, like, other people to do it. You'd have to grab their friends or something, right? MILF Manor was traumatizing. There was, oh my god, in MILF Manor, I remember there was this segment where they were having, this was a bunch of moms and a bunch of their sons. And all the sons were trying to date other moms. They were trying to date MILFs in the house, but every MILF had their own son, like, in there, trying to date other older women. Horrible concept. So, one scene has... they have them, like, revealing dark secrets. And the thing is, they didn't explain to them that they would say whose was what. They thought they were just guessing. So everyone would write, each mom was writing down, like, a secret that they never told their son. And then they would read it out. Thing is, they were not told that they, in the end, would go, oh, this was the person that wrote this one. So one of the moms writes that she, like, slept with her son's best friend and never told him. And then they reveal on the show, live, on the show. Yeah, poor fucking Jimmy. They revealed to Jimmy that his mom wrote that. And then Jimmy was so sad for the rest of the show. I felt so bad. I was like, Jimmy, no, Jimmy. It was fucked up, dude. It was fucked up. I was like, I hate the show. I can't do it. But it was so funny. It was so funny. What a show, man. It was bad. It was bad. But it's okay. Jimmy was a little bit of a freak, so I was like, okay, retribution. He was the foot dude. Literally doing your mom. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder how they even get Candace for that show. I think pretty much everyone that was on that show was really interested in being famous, which is the case for reality shows generally, but not always. With that one, like you could just tell that they all wanted this to be like their thing that launches them into the spotlight. And a lot of the dudes that were on the show, the sons were like aspiring models, and they just got their rich moms to like, you know, agree to the show just to like help them push their career forward. So they were just having fun with it, pretending they weren't really intending to date them, you know. A lot of it was just kind of not real. Not real. Yeah, reality shows attract people whose end goal is being known no matter what they're known for. It's true. It's true. I find that's also the case with like some streamers. It makes it hard to make friends because like a lot of people don't know what they're doing. They're just like, I want to be a streamer. And I'm like, okay, do you want to make content? Do you want to do this? Like, they're like, you want to collab? And I'm like, okay, on what? And they're like, I don't know, whatever the fuck. I'm here to be marketed, you know? Like, it's just kind of weird. Seen the most relevant video ever? Oh my god. Oh my god, does anyone remember this? Guys, this is the most relevant video ever. Holy shit. We have one of the MILFs from MILF Manor. Do you remember this? Yes, this is years ago. She's my favorite MILF. Yeah, my cats. You get some characters. I love her. She just read whatever fucking paragraph they sent and was like, yup. Uh-huh. Yeah. This is advice for you guys. Mm-hmm. Mm. Fruity. Yeah, Jimmy on the show mentioned he had a foot fetish. Right. Thanks, April. What is she even saying? What are you saying? Thanks, April. Do we even still have Goat's Megalux on this channel? Do we still have that? There it is. Oh, April, what a gem. What a gem. Ah, she was great. She was great. We love April. She taught you how to bag a MILF, dude. Chat, you should be so thankful. You should be so thankful. She was really there for you, okay? I bet she doesn't know what that meant. She has no clue. No, Goats Megalux. Oh, I love Cameo. Cameo fucking rules, dude. Cameo fucking rules. Okay? XDD. She was so excited to do it. You think I have a chance with April? Well, she likes gentlemen. She likes people that are sweet and kind. You tell me. I don't know. That's what she said she wanted. Said when we hit our 40s, are MILFs just women our age, chat? Yeah. Yeah. There are MILFs in their 30s. There are technically MILFs in their 20s too, you know? I mean, hey, maybe it doesn't have that same energy, but technically it counts. So like, yeah. You could be like, ugh, single moms, because you're like a type of person who's not willing to try that shit. Or you could be like, hell yeah, MILFs. You know what I mean? Two sides of the same coin. It's all about how you look at it, right? It's all about what you're thinking about it. People that don't, oh yeah, she also likes people that don't reveal their fetishes in the first date. I think her like cameo thing is that she like gives MILF advice, so no matter what you ask her to say, she's always gonna throw in advice on dating a MILF. Your sister's in her mid-40s and prowls on young men all the time. I don't get that. Here's the thing. Okay. No matter what age you are, when you are like 15 years older than someone, you are so different from them. How do you even like somebody like that? That's just in a different world. Yeah, you can't even relate to them. I guess it depends on what you're looking for out of that person, obviously. But like in general, when people like actually date and get married to someone where they have that much of an age gap, it just feels like I shouldn't always make this assumption. It's not always this, but it just feels like they're taking advantage of the younger person. That's how it feels to me. You know? That just is how it feels to me. And maybe it's not always like that, but it feels like it's often that because whenever I've seen those kinds of situations, a lot of the time it's like an older man with some younger woman and she is like super dependent on him and he's like, "This is my little birdie," and he's all gross about it and shit, you know? It's just weird. And again, if it's just like a physical relationship, whatever, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like about the people that actually get married and like, you know, like it just feels so transactional. I personally, in my personal life, have not seen a couple with that much of an age gap that is really just there for each other and loves each other, unless they're like past their 40s. Like if it's a 42-year-old woman and like a 57-year-old man, I've seen stuff like that work out, but it's only usually like in the later years, you know? But whenever they're like 40 and below, it's usually, I don't know, that same age gap feels very different. Feels very different. You said when you were 19, you dated a 43-year-old guy for personal reasons. Yeah, I've had a few friends that have like definitely dated a bit too far up in age, and each time I've warned them and been like, I don't think this person is good for you. You know, because while they seem nice, they're just, and like none of these friends of mine that did this were trying to like be sugar babied or anything like that. They were like, I don't know, I'm just trying it because he seems really nice. But I would look at like where that person was in their life and where my friend was, and I'd be like, this is not it. This is not it. And it, lo and behold, never worked out. Never did. I agree after 25, I assume they both know what they're doing. I mean, yeah. The rule is half your age plus 7 plus the older person's net worth divided by 1 million. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's how people do it, man. It's crazy. Rule of seven's always a good approximation. Yeah, what, half your age plus 7? I guess. I guess. I don't know. It depends on the person. I mean, I have like a lot of friends of mine that are like wildly different ages from me, and I get along with them great. I really, really, really do. But the world that they lived in and grew up in versus the one that I lived in and grew up in is completely different, and it's just hard. It's just hard, man. I don't know. Your grandparents were 10 years apart. Pretty sure they only stayed together out of stubbornness and tradition. Yeah, yeah, it was very different back then. It was very different. Friends are a different vibe, I feel. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, how do I do this? When I think about a friend like that and I'm like, could I see someone my age dating that person? The answer is just almost always no. Still, right? You're saying not petty farming. That's way bad. Due to mental illness, feel like I'm not at the same place in my life as women my age, and I might be able to relate more to younger people than me. Right, but then think of it from the younger person's perspective. They might see you. They might go all in. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying you might get called like a man child or something. Right? Depending on what kind of situation you're in. And I think on top of that, a lot of people that are in a different place in life fell into that place in life. They did a couple things right. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're like that much better than you or something. You know what I mean? You still have the same amount of years lived on the earth. You've still lived through the same time periods. Therefore, you have some parallel experiences. And I feel like that still remains, even if you think you're in like a different place in life, technically. You know what I mean? I don't know. But also, that really depends on how much younger and how much older. You know, like, I think within reason, what you're saying is totally normal. But if it's a big gap, then it's not. It's not good, right? You said you're pretty sure the Cambridge definition of man-child is man who has 100 plus Steam games. That's like everyone. I think everyone's a man-child and woman-child. I think people don't change that much, if I'm being honest. Like, as you get older and you meet more people, you kind of realize that more and more of them are like, just, they've been the same their whole lives, you know? They just have more experience slapped on them. But everyone has a bit of that, for sure. Some show it more. But I think it's like within everyone, personally. You said, speaking from experience, please do not use younger partners to try and solve mental issues. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Ooh, you've argued with fans of vampire fiction for years. Why is it that a 30-year-old man going after a 17-year-old girl is gross, but a 130-year-old dead guy is hot? They're both gross. Yeah. Well, they're like, once they get into the region of fantasy, people just stop thinking about those things. Right? There's also the idea of like, when someone's a vampire, they were turned into a vampire at a certain age and they've sort of frozen in time there. It depends on the writing, it depends on the world building, but that's how some people try to justify it, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, the elves. That's why, actually, what's one of my favorite things about fucking Aragon, if you've ever read Aragon, read through those books. Main character's a teenager, and it's sort of his coming of age story, going through like his mid to later teenage years. The main love interest in those books is an older elf woman. He meets her, and she's the most beautiful woman, and she has so much life experience, and she's teaching him, she's so strong, and he's like, oh my god. And he starts to like actually like her. And my favorite thing is a lot of the writing in that series is just him fucking it up because he's just a dumb kid. And it feels so realistic because he says things to her and does things and she's like, all right. And you can tell she's just like, okay, you are a baby in my eyes. I love it so much. I love it so much. It's really well written. And yeah, it was written by a young man, right? He was like a teenager when he started writing those books. Um, but I think because that was the case, it was actually written very realistically. He wasn't self-inserting and like having her be like, "Oh, I actually love this boy so much." It wasn't that. He was self-inserting like his own experience in there. And the main character, or the main female, character here doesn't like him like that because he's just a kid to her, and that's just like, almost all of the books that's the case. So I thought it was really funny reading through it because you just felt for him the whole time, You felt for him the whole time. You're just like, man, this poor guy, he just like he at times doesn't get it, and then he matures to where he does get it. He still likes her, but he gets it and he knows that like he's a kid to her. And he just struggles with that because he sees her and he likes her and it's whatever. And then he himself morphs and changes a little bit, so becomes more like okay a bit later, but still, it didn't even like fully work out like that. It was just a funny scenario. I like the way he wrote it. I like the way he did. What was it called again? It was Aragon. It was that series. Dragon, but with an E. Haha. Haha. He was way more level-headed writing about older women than I was as a teenager. Yeah, no, he actually wrote, I think he wrote about that pretty well. That's something that I appreciated, is he made sure that the kid was a stupid kid in the books. There were a lot of moments where you really, really, really felt like you were just properly reading through like how a teenage guy was gonna be experiencing these things. It was good. It was good. I thought they were solid. Man half transformed into an elf. It didn't work for him. Hey, no spoilers. Yeah, no, it was interesting. And some issues in his writing was well done overall. Yeah. I'm not gonna say they're the most well-written books ever, but they're made quite literally for young adults, so I think it's totally fine. Totally fine. Read any of the Discworld books? We were just talking about them earlier. Yeah, I've read all of them. Every last one. I've been rereading them actually to try and like refresh myself. I've been doing that. I don't know. I just think I liked the way he wrote her. And oftentimes in fantasy, when it comes to fantasy authors, I don't like the way they write a lot of these female characters. They kind of write them like shit a lot of the time. But I found the way he wrote female characters was pretty solid. So yeah, I enjoyed it. You say he may have gotten the books partially out of nepotism, but he put in the work marketing them and doing panels even as a kid. What do you mean out of nepotism? He just self-published it. He self-published it, and yeah, if people like knew and said, yeah, I'll read your little fucking book, whatever. His parents were publisher. No. It's. Let me look this up and make sure I'm saying the right thing. It wasn't exactly like that. It wasn't exactly like that. They didn't publish his book either. It was that he wanted to publish and found that going to a publisher meant that you had to go and do like this whole expensive process. They have to accept your book. It was going to cost a lot of money. And it was just like not working out. So what he did was his parents basically started up a tiny company, labeled it as a publisher, and they self-published it. So they weren't like long-time publishers or anything like that, or new people in that industry. That would have been nepotism maybe if it was like that, but it wasn't that. It was just that they were doing it for him because he was still a minor, you know. So they did that, and then the way it got published by a larger agency was that his book was already out for years, and the story goes like this. I found where they wrote it. So his family didn't have the resources to market it, or any of the major publishing companies like kind of work that they do. So they toured around bookstores, high schools, and libraries just to sell the book. They just physically went places on like family trips with him. And it didn't sell very well. And they went under some financial hardship, but they tried to support their son as best they could and take him out to places where he could show this. And then there was a writer, just pure luck, a writer was vacationing in one of the areas that his family had toured. And he picked up the self-published version and let his stepson read it. And his stepson loved it. And then that writer approached Paulini's family to try and get the book published through a major publisher. So it was very like luck. To be honest, it was luck. And he started writing, because his parents had written a book as like some sort of passion project, so they understood a little bit about self-publishing, and that's why they were willing to like try it. But yeah, it was not like they owned a major publisher or anything. You know what I mean? Is publishing cook like the music industry too? Kind of, but with like Amazon, it's a lot easier to publish a book now. So if you go through actually just Amazon books, there are a lot of ways you can get yourself properly published that way. There are a few smaller ones as well that will just publish anything, to be honest, if you just pay a fee. And it doesn't have anything in it that is like illegal for them to publish. So that is the case. That is the case. So if you want to write something and publish it, it's really honestly doable nowadays. It really is. So all writing is kind of luck with publishing. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, you just need the right person to pick up your book and to have time in that moment where they actually want to read through it. It's just hard. And then, you can put your book in front of people and set up meetings and be like, I want you to read my book to try and publish it. But it's just, there's a sea of books that are put in front of major publishers. Okay, an absolute sea of them. And they have to read your blurb and decide to continue reading. It's just marketing. It's hard. It's hard, man. Almost every story of people making it bigger like that has an element of luck to it. Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. Like, realistically, there are a lot of good people out there. There are a lot of people who are good at things out there. And the ones that make it, usually it's that they were good at the thing they were doing, plus something happened to raise them up. There are some people who are actually that much better than everyone else that at whatever thing it is that they're famous for. But there's also a big mix of people that just right time, right place, etc., etc. That's just how it goes, man. That's how it goes. So if you want to do something and you want to be known for it or the best at it, you have to grind up and you have to know that you're going to be in a sea of people that are all good as well. And then from there, hope to get an opportunity. That's just how it is. That's how it is. Streaming is very much like that, Everything is. Everything. Yeah, it's about putting yourself in the position to get lucky and being good in the first place. It's right, basically put yourself in a position where that luck can hit you or some opportunity can just hit you. But then when that hits, you have to be good and able to actually leverage that opportunity. Because let's say someone's like, oh, I'm a huge streamer. I'm going to bring you onto every stream of mine for a week. So people go and check out your streams after, and I'll raid you every day. Okay, but if you're not that funny in that collab, and they raid you, and your content isn't that good, it's not going to do anything. You're going to get some empty follows where they don't come back. You know what I mean? Like, you can have an opportunity that someone literally hands you, and if you can't carry it, you can't carry it. Know what I mean? So you have to have both. That's really all it is. Hi, Hako. Except if you're Giga, you're just sick with it. So true, so true. That's me. Yeah, you need to be able to seize the opportunity. I mean, you see it all the time. You see people get opportunities and they just kind of fall flat. They just don't do much with it. Constantly. There are other people you see take it and run with it. Some people do okay with an opportunity, but, you know, sometimes they don't. Oh, you got the perms? I'm bumping our DMs so I don't forget. Reminder to self to set up lobby for repo because perms. Okay. Sorry, I'm using our DM as like a like a note. I asked him on March 16th. I think he said something because you were in my chat back then or something like that. Huzzah! Huzzah! I've been waiting for you guys to get perms. I'm so glad. We should set one up. We should set one up. Haka asked if any of the stars want to play. Any of them at all. I'm down. I could drag anyone else in, but since you guys just got perms, I'll let you guys all pile in first if you want. If y'all want. Shoto about to grief the new meat. Oh, dude, I can't play that game with Shoto. He had to have been trolling last time when we played to him. He had to have been trolling, right? He was fucking it up so bad. There's no way Shoto was fucking it up like that. There's no way. He was dropping everything. He was getting us killed. There's no way. Surely. I was losing my mind. Here, I'll write a note in our DMs, Haka, so I don't forget. There we go. What do y'all mean by repo perms? In their company, they have to get permissions to stream certain games because they are under a Japanese company. And the way Japanese copyright law works, a lot of streamers have to go through this, but you basically have to get like specific permissions to stream games so that you are not breaking Japanese copyright law. So even though they're like Western streamers or they're speaking English and they're streaming to a Western audience or whatever, because they're under a company that's based out of there, they still have to follow, you know, certain rule sets and things. So when they want to stream a game, they have to get perms. So if a game comes out and I'm like, oh, and I go to my friends in Hollow Stars and I'm like, hey, do you guys want to play this thing with me? They'll usually be like, yeah, I got to get perms first though, you know? So they have to like just work that out. And usually it just involves someone like directly contacting a company or game publisher and being like, hey, can we stream this? Can we have written consent that it's okay for this thing or, you know, whatever. And then they get those perms and then we can play it. Sometimes it's for a limited time too. Sometimes they're like, yes, here's, you can play this for the next 6 months. Here's the time period, stuff like that. It's brutal. It's really hard on streamers. It really is. Yeah, Japan doesn't have fair use. Exactly. So that's why with VTubers, you see content-wise, they're split into 2 separate camps a lot. It's mostly because a lot of VTubers are under these Japanese agencies. A lot of the indie ones you see on Twitch are not, but it's you know, they're indie and they're usually Western. But any of the ones that are from Japan or are under companies or owned by, you know, companies that are based in Japan, to use that IP to then stream a game, you have to have these special permissions that you're not breaking copyright stuff. So it's a lot of hoops, and it makes it so that their content is very different. So you see a lot of separation in content style between those VTubers that are under that sort of restriction versus the ones that aren't, right? Like, I'm not, so a game comes out and I'm like, fuck it, I'll play it as long as it's not TOS, just like any other streamer. It doesn't matter to me. Yes, I'm quote-unquote corpo, I'm under VShojo, but like, it's based, you know, in California, so like, we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it does make it hard to sometimes do collabs with friends that I want to collab with, but I just wait for them. I'm like, hey, tell me when you get perms, you know? I had to send 100 carrier pigeons to even talk to GEEGA in the first place. It's so true. Every now and then I get a bird at my window. A little Hakito shows up with a letter tied to its leg. Oh, it's correspondence from the Hollow Stars. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I don't get why it takes so long, though. Isn't it just an email with sure? I don't always know. Sometimes it is for some companies, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes they need a special form. It's just hoops to go through. It's just hoops. And even if it's easy, even if you're like, hey, I just need you to respond to this email saying this. Those companies are not used to those requests, so they'll just take forever to get back to you, to be honest. It's very annoying. It's very annoying. Yeah, you're saying, I can't remember, but I think Capcom almost nuked a Holo channel over some trauma IDK. It's yeah, perms related. Like, Japanese law is just so different. It's just so different, so... Yeah. They can get a little difficult to deal with. And you don't want, you don't want your channel to get nuked over something like that, so... That's why Nintendo are going after a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's a Japanese company. A lot of games that are made over there, they really, really, really care about it because they're used to this type of copyright law. So when people are streaming their games, they get a little, you know, they get a little upsetty spaghetti. Right? That's just how it is, man. Does Bishojo JP need to get perms, or does the American corporation negate that? I don't know, actually. I don't know. I know there's Bishojo. I know there's Bishojo JP. I don't fully know what the legal structure is. And I don't fully know what those girls' contracts in any way, actually I don't know at all what their contracts look like and how that works. I know that they have some issues sometimes where they have to get perms for certain things, but there are other times where I've seen them very quickly play some things. So there's some restrictions, but it's usually not too much. Yeah, Elden Ring had some restrictions for all people streaming from Japan, so she had to deal with that. Mm-hmm. They had a whole thing for it. They did. Yeah, I think it's mostly Japanese IPs, and then I think if they want to play a game that's not made in Japan, then those companies start to not care, so they have like way less of an issue. Atlas used to be insanely bad about it. I've done a couple sponsorships where I played a game that Atlas published, and they have really specific, so most game sponsorships, they're like, just play the game. They give you, you know, some talking points like, I want to make sure, you know, the multiplayer's mentioned and this new mode is mentioned and things like that they want to make sure you're advertising. And so you just get a list of talking points and you just make sure you bring those up, and that's it. There are other games like Assassin's Creed Shadows I did, and they were like, hey, can you just watch the beginning cinematics before the sponsored stream, because we don't want every sponsored stream to be like 35 minutes of cinematics at the beginning. And I was like, yeah, of course, like I'll just start the game and then continue it on stream. Totally fine. That's usually the biggest ask you get. But with the stuff from Atlas, they would give you specific chapters and say you cannot stream beyond this. You can do chapter 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, blah, 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 and then by chapter 10, you have to stop streaming. You are not allowed to stream the ending. They would do stuff like that. So you had to be really cognizant of like what's going on, because if you just kind of autopilot, you might fuck it up. When Persona 5 released, I remember there being issues with streamers. I think they also had that same thing where you could only go up to a certain point, because they just don't want spoilers. But here's my thing. Here's my thing with a lot of game sponsorships. They tell you everything clearly. Okay? They tell you everything clearly. You just have to follow what's in the document. Don't ask for anything. Oh, can I just specifically do this thing differently from everyone else? No, because that person, that rep in that email might say yes, but like the company, it's still a no from them. Just they give you a document that you first sign for your sponsorship. You just do what's in the document. It said clearly that there should be no excuses for anyone like fucking that up, to be honest. I know recently some people were getting pissed because some folks were having issues with some games where, like, which game was it? Was it Assassin's Creed? Or something else? Where some people like streamed it early. And people were freaking out because they were like, there were a couple people that did that. Yeah, it was Shadows. Streaming before the sponsored portion started to watch the opening cinematics. No. The issue was, look, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. I'm just gonna say straight up. Okay. Yeah, it was time zone miscommunication. For some streamers. For some other people, there was other stuff. Some individual guy, a rep, fucking up, saying, oh, that time is okay, in an email. That is not the fault of the company or the streamer or anything. It is that one guy's fault. And that's why you have to just follow the initial time they give you and the initial thing they give you, because you have to remember that when you deal with these companies, one representative, that guy who does like some streamer communications, stuff like that, those people fuck up a lot, to be honest. They fuck up a lot. You know, they get a document from a higher up on what they want all of the marketing to look like that they then hand out to the streamers. When you ask them questions about those documents, half the time they get it wrong. You can't trust it. So it's just something to note when you deal with sponsorships and stuff. Like, some of these reps will be really good, depending on the company. Some of them will really not. And some of them are great, but they just make a mistake, right? Like, this guy could have been a great representative, and then he mixed up AM and PM. Whoops. Oh, I thought you said AM. Oh, I thought you said PM, you know? Like, that fucking sucks. But, you know, stuff like that happens. But also, that's just like a word of advice. Just never ask to just try, like, be the only guy with a special allowance. Can I just play it early, though? Like, in what world would the companies say yes? You know what I mean? Like if a representative said to me, like, yes, I have checked the time, it was in UTC, and I have approved it, I would still be like, did the higher ups say that, though? I wouldn't trust it. You know what I mean? Whatever they give you initially, you just gotta go with that. That's it. Because a lot of the time, if the representatives take some liberties, they probably shouldn't be taking those liberties, you know? Especially if it's a JP company. I don't fuck with that, you know? Like, there's a good chance those are miscoms and you're gonna get tricked, and then you're gonna end up doing something that you didn't even realize was, like, not okay, you know? And then you get fucked. So, yeah, it's just stuff to be careful with. That's stuff to be really careful with. Yeah, a good chunk of your job is clarifying time zone miscoms, so it definitely happens. Yeah, UTC is the way to go. Yeah. I think for me, again, the rule of thumb is just, I never ask for anything outside of what they initially asked for when it comes to that. If they have embargoes set up and they're like, yeah, you can only stream up until this point, I just don't even ask. Like, oh, could I stream, you know, beyond a little? I don't. Because I've seen that kind of issue happen. Like, that was not the first time an issue like that's happened. There are other issues in the past with embargo shit getting fucked up because someone asks for some sort of special allowance, whether it be timing or streaming a certain part of the game or whatever. They get told yes by a rep, and then it turns out the company didn't want that, and then they have an issue with copyright. So, I don't know. I've just seen enough times where I'm like, yeah, I just don't trust it. I'm just not gonna ask. It's fucked, man. It is. Then you have to make a twit longer as an apology. You're right, because you look like the asshole, the streamer. Even if you were told something different, like, you have to tank it? I don't know. It's annoying. It's annoying to deal with. Is getting clarification on anything also a pain in the ass? Yeah, like, okay, if it were maybe like a month before the thing, that's still not enough time. When the campaign first drops and it's like 5 months out or 4 months out, and they are kind of giving you this idea, here are the embargoes, you know, you can start streaming it on this date, you can't do it before this time, etc. At that point in time, you can try to arrange stuff, but you need like a signed document saying you can do it, you know? If you ask within the past like month or 2 months before it, and you don't have a signed paper. It's one of those things. I don't trust it. Yeah, you're the messenger and you'll get shot. Exactly. Exactly. I'm so brain rotting seeing people upset that there's people that had fun playing the game. Hey, the game was actually fun. I actually liked it, okay? I liked that game. I had no problem streaming it. It was fine. But I was very annoyed by people coming to my chat and being like, "Ooh, I hope they don't ban you for streaming it." And I'm like, oh, like, that situation was really unfortunate, but it had nothing to do with just me being a VTuber streaming it. I was doing it within the initial embargo period. Like, it was just a thing for them to bring up for no reason. And I was like, brother, shut up. And it's like, you feel for people that had to deal with that issue. You do, but like, why are they saying it in a chat where it's like, it just made it clear that they didn't even know what the scenario was. They just didn't know the scenarios. They were just like being annoying. I don't know. I was just like, what is, what is this? They didn't know what they were mad at, you know? I don't know. People, chatters be chatters. Chatters be chatters, man. Yeah, as long as they hate the company they're gonna bring up. I think that's what it is. I agree. Chatters are funny. Speaking of chatters, I have one to bring up. I want to show you. I want to show you. Check this out. Watch this. You see this? This is a long time ago. Deleted their message with a warning saying, yo, stop RPing, okay? Dude comes back. Dude unfollowed and refollowed just to come back and say this again. What are you doing? You came back to finish the job. What are you doing? It's, you know what? I bet it's Garrick's alt. I bet it's Garrick's alt. It has to be, right? Because I posted the Knuckles fan cam. Oh, sorry, it's not a fan cam. It's an AMV. I posted the I Stand Alone Knuckles the Echidna AMV in the Discord. And I did that 4:47 p.m. It's now 6:57. It's either that or it's Walnut's alt. It's gotta be, right? Right? Has anyone seen Shadow and Garrick in the same room together? I don't know. I mean, Garrick was here earlier, and then he's gone, and then Shadow shows up, so... Really makes you think. Really makes you think. I'm gonna send it to him. Hold on. Is this your alt? Be honest. Alright, I've sent it over. Make him say Chaos Control. Oh my god. No, I'm pretty sure Dread is the one that likes Sonic. Wait, does he ironically like Sonic or unironically? I'm asking. I'm asking, do you like Sonic for real or is it ironic? I have to know. Do not call Garrick at 3 a.m. Chaos Control! I don't know. I don't know what's a bit anymore. I see someone say a thing and I'm like, I don't know if it's real. I just don't know. I just don't know anymore. Are you guys still playing Vintage Story? Yeah, I gotta load up some more of mine. We gotta go back on our homesteading arc. To be honest. Last time we played, we had a great time. And then we got to a point where suddenly it was like the rot came out, or whatever the fuck it's called, the rust zone. And there was nothing but like weird creatures outside. And I stayed inside my dirt hut. And that was it. I don't know. You thought you closed the game. You died of hunger, had all your good stuff despawn on you. No. Start again. It's kind of a banger game. Kind of a really good game. They're not telling me if they like Sonic or not, guys. I don't know. I'm going on hard on Descenders. That game looked good. Wait. I think I wish listed that. Let me see. Did I? Yeah. Someone mentioned it when we were doing Lonely Mountains Downhill, and we were playing like the skiing games and shit. It looks pretty good, and the ratings are all really nice. Oh my god, you lost all of your bags and bronze gear, so now you have no inventory and back to the copper age. That's fucked. I'm so sorry. That's fucked, dude. Wait, you don't have anything stored? You had nothing stored? It was all just on you? And copper stuff stored. Oh, man. So, about the 3 icons on the top right corner of your stream? Well, if you go to the Discord and you want to know about these 3 icons, if you go to the Discord, there's a whole FAQ. There's a primer on it. You can learn about it. But there are 3 factions. You pick one. You align yourself with one of them. Everyone does it. Okay? And then everything you do in the stream contributes to your points. And at the end of the month, your faction could maybe win. No, Dredger said LOL. Which is it? He said LOL. Tell me the truth. I need to know. I need to know. Oh my god, he's still typing. I don't know. There's an oddball that's refusing to pick a faction. I think he's waiting for bots to pick one for him. I mean, it's really simple. I have things set up in the Discord so that you have to pick a faction. And if someone refuses, then they just don't get to interact with the community. And if they quietly just don't do it, they quietly don't do it. But if they make it like their bit that they're so cool and different for not wanting to pick one, then we just get rid of them. It's a way for some people to vibe check themselves out. If they go to the Discord and they have access to just one chat, right? Because they haven't picked a faction yet. And they're like, oh man, I'm not picking one. I don't fucking care. I'm different, you know? We vibe check you out. Vibe check you out the dough. You're gone. You're done. That's just how it goes, man. That's just how it fucking goes. Gosh, should I join creatures or monsters? No. You're not supposed to ask. You're supposed to vibe with one, you know? You're supposed to sit there and feel it in your heart of hearts, your soul of souls, and pick the right one. Or you could just be like, I like the color green, you know? I like the color red. I'm picking monsters. I love blue. I'm picking undead. You know. Who do you got the Peter Park one? Wait, which one? Send it. Okay, hold on. Hootie just huge redeem. W redeem. Hootie just rolled for an NFB. Send it to me. Which one? Oh yeah. Hootie now owns this non-fungible banger from the chat. Nice. Everyone, WNFB. It's just Peter Park saying V Shoujo. Not bad, not bad. There you go. There you go. Guys, collect them. Collect as many as you can. When you own one, you exclusively own it, for the record. It is a proper non-fungible banger, okay? So roll for him. I like that. I like that. You said, Lamau, I just had to hit a button to join a faction. Sweet. Yeah, so when we make people pick factions to get into the Discord and to be able to see the chats, part of it is also a filter to see who can read. Because if someone comes in and clicks through and doesn't read anything, they're like, there's only one chat, this place sucks, and then they leave. Good, we didn't want them interacting in the Discord, because then that would mean that they can't read, and you don't want people that can't read in your Discord. It's so annoying to moderate it. So instead, we just make it so that that is a filter. And if they can't read, they don't even have to read a lot. You just have to read a small amount, like cursory level skimming. And there you go. Yeah, insane IQ test. Yeah, no, because straight up, when you have people... moderating a Discord is a lot of work. Okay? There are all these channels to click through, and you have to check people's vibes. There's a lot of reading comprehension that needs to be there for people to interact normally. So we try to filter out people that can't read. And we still have over like 20k people or some shit. You'd be surprised how making people pick a role to chat will hard filter people. It really does. It really does. And if someone has to be like, I don't get it, how can I unlock the chats? And there's only like, there are 3 channels and one of them tells them how to do it. Like, come on, man, you know? Come on. People still get filtered after that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it happens. It does, but you know, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. Otherwise, you have to spend so much time moderating people, like, in very subjective ways. And it's too much work for the mods. When the community was smaller, we didn't need to do that, but as it got larger, I was like, hey, I want to make your lives not terrible, so let's set up a couple filters, you know? You know what I mean? You modded for a Discord where people would send the angriest fucking DMs about how they couldn't chat, and you'd be like, read the help channel. Yep. That's the thing, too, is like, if someone's just genuinely asking because they didn't read, whatever. But sometimes, yeah, they get a really bad attitude, and that's an easy way for us to tell, okay, we don't want this person, like, here, you know? We don't want them hanging out. I don't know, I just feel like hanging out in a chat versus, like, really trying to be a part of a community are 2 different things, and we should have 2 slightly different standards for it. If someone can't read and they're just in the chat being whatever, they're whatever. It's just chat. When they're in the Discord, where people are hanging out 24/7 and, like, that's their friend group at times, you know? I like keeping that a little more sacred for people. Ooh. Okay, hold on. I gotta go refill my water. I'm checking up on something. We might do something. I'm checking if I should do a thing. Maybe. We might do a thing. Maybe, I don't know. I sent a message to see who bites. In the meantime, I gotta go refill my water. And double check on my cats. They've just been so quiet and it's spooking me. It's spooking me a little bit, so I will be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Where's my BRB text? Gonna go to the old watering hole. BRB. I'm clicking those buttons. I'm doing it. Ta-da. Sorry, I wanted to change to my Monster Hunter fit. To my Monster Hunter fit. I was gonna open the damn game. I was gonna open the damn game. We were supposed to have a collab today that didn't happen, which is totally fine because it was like also it was something that I was messaged like, I don't know, like just before the stream, like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, I guess so. And then they were like, something came up and I was like, ah, that's fine. We'll just do it another day. We're like, we'll run it back another day. So instead, we'll play Wilds because I have to get through the new shit. I haven't gotten through all the new shit. Did you get sponsored? No, because when the game first dropped, I got sponsored like twice. I was literally sponsored twice for 2 different streams, like a day before full release and day of full release, and this whole outfit and everything. So, no, I was just sponsored for that. Maybe again in the future. We shall see. We shall see what happens. But I want to play Wilds. I wonder if it'll do that shit where it's running like poo-poo again, though. I don't know if they've patched anything or how it feels, so we're just gonna have to test. We're gonna have to test. Is Tech apparently with Zoshia when he does Big Ass Fire? Want to know or figure it out? I don't know. I don't know. Don't tell me yet. Don't tell me yet. Deleting the shader folder was solving most issues. Oh, deleting it entirely? Should I do that? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. What the fuck is this song? I hate this song. There we go. Game takes 2 full minutes to boot for you now. It always took a little bit for me, actually. It always did. What did you think of the first Berserker? I've been liking it. I've been liking it a lot. So I'll probably continue that. I've been enjoying it a lot. You like the void of white light when fighting the spider? Was it that bad for you? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Joining the other girls for Wilds. Oh, are they playing it? Are they playing? Oh, they are. Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. I'll let them do their thing. They're sponsored, right? I'll do their thing. If they're using the if they're using our squad, I'll use it, but if not, then it's all good. Okay. Hold on. Game's opening. Moment of truth. I'm watching it. Health warning, Capcom logo. Okay. Okay, once it fully opened, it started to do everything a lot quicker. So maybe this is good. Maybe this is good. Okay. BGM off. Ooh, game sounds, game sounds. Here, okay. Let's try it. My computer's just been struggling recently with some games, and I've had to turn my model off occasionally, and I'm like, kind of expected because I'm still running a 3080, and if I'm running a huge game plus a model, like, yeah. But some games it's more than expected, so I'm like, it's time. It's probably time to put like a 50 series in here and just crank it. It's time to fucking crank it.